I got Snacky Snack.
Snick.
Have you seen the Razer Snacky Snack?
Yeah, you sent me a link to it.
Ah, yeah.
Alright, we're live. Just posting some links places.
Just in time for me to leave the PC. Oh yeah. Hello, Blahaj.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for you to get back to actually start the game. Because it doesn't let you have a second. It just starts the opening cutscene.
Oh, fair. Pre-show then.
Which cutscenes for a 1995 game? That's something.
I'm trying to think of what other early games had cutscenes.
In 95, the only thing I can think of is like Out of This World on the SNES.
I don't even know games from back then. When was the original Need for Speed?
Original Need for Speed was 96?
I'm close. Because it was still Road and Track, the Need for Speed. Do you know there was a Japan-only version of, I think it was the first Need for Speed, which was done for a car maker. I can't remember which one, just like Honda, so all the cars were Hondas.
I'm sure that existed. Oh, 94 was the first one. Need for Speed 2 was 97.
I mean, 2 they actually did it for. But I know them. Car company paid for a lot of money for a Japanese exclusive. That was clear enough. It was the same game, just with Japanese cars.
I'm gonna turn your mic up because you're kind of quiet.
I'll be louder when I get back inside.
Okay.
It's midnight and I'm outside.
All right, do the tweeters.
I can't go that high pitched.
The bass
ding, 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 ding.
The bass and the tweeters make the speakers go to war.
Speakers go to war.
Ah, the mighty trumpet brings the freaks out to the floor. It's the only part of that song I know.
Tell me, where the freaks at? 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 I still can't believe that song basically came around for the father and son, just trombone and an oven door lid. Fine.
Oh, you know what? I haven't done one thing on this channel yet.
Backflip.
Huh?
A backflip.
Well, that too, but that's mostly because I can't. I haven't played the shutdown boot up of Windows XP.
Oh, I gotta do Windows 95, man.
Half these games don't work on 95.
God.
Plus 95 didn't have.
95 game.
Plus 95 didn't have.
98.
Plus 95 didn't have USB support.
What about 98? That was the Windows I started on.
98 had Windows had Windows support. Had
It barely had Windows support, but it was there.
Yeah. It had USB support integrated only in 2nd edition.
Do you remember Windows 2000/ME?
I do. I tried to install that and it wouldn't install on this.
Yep, that sounds about Windows, like 2000. That'll be me in a couple of hours.
Well, that was the boot up sound. The shutdown is doo 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 doo.
Still be me in a couple of hours trying to sleep.
Did you see the video of that guy riding a roller coaster? Keep waking up and passing out.
There's many of those.
There's one version of it where they overlaid the boot up and shut down every time he woke up and passed out again.
No, I haven't seen that. My friend keeps saying, "Cheer up, man. It could be worse. He could be stuck underground in a hole full of water." I know he means well.
MF, how you doing? Alright. I'm just waiting for Zay to get back to her seat so we can get the boot up sequence going.
I'm totally not making this a pre-show.
I mean, it is actually better to do a kind of pre-show, so you're not just starting the moment you start the stream. It gives people
get most of the disappointment out of the way quickly.
Well, it gives people time to join before you start.
Yeah.
That's
I can't stand when streamers do a pre-show. That's just a countdown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some do
a pre-show. Just sit there.
Some do it with like a theme song. Some do it with a playlist. Some do it with a complete custom opening sequence. Like Carnage's entrance is pretty good. You heard the new one. I know I sent you the link to it. It's the one done by oh fuck, what's his name? DJ Hyper.
Yeah, I've probably seen it.
Because I sent you the original one first, and then sent you the second one, and the second one is Hyper remixing his old one.
It was more than 2 hours ago. I can't remember it.
It was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, good luck with anything from like this morning, memory-wise. Hang on.
Oh yeah, when I installed all these games the first night I had this on, I was streaming it, and I knew for sure I had to mute before starting Need for Speed Underground 2, because the first thing it does in the boot up sequence is play copyrighted music.
Oh, I might have to put my fan on, which means it might get loud.
That's fine. I have my fan on all the time.
Oh, this isn't too loud.
It's like when you start Underground 2, the first song it chooses, I think, is Snoop Dogg, "Rider on the Storm."
No, it's not. That's the first song it plays in the menus. The song before that for the intro sequence.
Was it Lil Wayne?
No, it's electronic.
No, I'm talking about after the EA Games splash, it goes to the music, the EA tracks list.
No, there is one that comes before that. I'm pretty sure.
But I just know the only song I like on that track, at least back when I played it originally, was "Rider on the Storm." So I 100% of that game only listening to that song.
It's probably a bad idea for me to play that through my speakers.
Probably.
So, share that to you in Discord. That is the song. It starts off atmospheric, and the song fades in. That is what comes after EA before the menu sequence. The first song when you get to the splash screen is "Riders on the Storm."
Yeah, because I'm talking about when it goes to the loading screen. Because the opening cutscene is different.
Yeah, the opening cutscene, you can disable it inside, but it is the first thing that plays.
Yeah,
Look, my childhood was Underground 2. That's all it was.
Yeah. I mean, mine was Underground 1, High Stakes, and Underground 2.
Why do I not have your stream open?
Yeah, why don't you?
Oh, because this horrible stream is the worst. I would never watch it.
So, normally...
Mute.
Normally these booklets are useless.
Yay, advert!
Yay. Oh yeah, that's right. They enabled ads on
everything.
Yeah. But usually the game booklets are fairly useless. For the JumpStart series, they're actually necessary in some cases, especially for 4th grade. Because 4th grade, well, at least mine, because I have the good version of 4th grade, which was Haunted Island. They changed that to a generic, like, Tomb Raider style, because parents complained that it was too scary.
It's always the parents. Like...
So, yeah. So I have technically a limited run of 4th grade.
I don't even know anything about it.
But you're able to see.
Oh, it's edutainment. I should have seen that coming.
Yeah, I told you that's what it is.
Yeah, look, it was more than 3 minutes ago. Come on. I have the memory of a fish.
It was last night.
What's worse than that is I have the memory of a fish.
Alright, but honestly, the best way to watch is probably through Discord, because it's not 3 seconds behind.
Yeah, I'm just going to resize the window so I can still see chat.
You can pop out chat and pause the stream.
Wait, you can pop out chat?
Yeah. There's three dots in the corner of it.
Oh, I've got it.
Yeah.
Why did no one tell me this?
Because most people don't do it.
I don't Twitch much anyway.
Let's run.
That me. I'm Trap Queen Supreme.
Yeah. Don't worry, this is supposed to run at 2 FPS.
That's a nice chunky level of FPS. Why am I typing to chat? Hi, Meth. I can speak.
Yeah, the bars wiggle. Can I ding this? Yeah, I can. Interactive menus.
Remember when those were a thing? God, those sound effects.
Gotta blam.
Oh, those. I am thinking of a game, and I can't remember it, from 2000s. Again, it was edutainment. Was it? How Things Work. Oh my god. If you haven't played How Things Work, it is such a good game.
I haven't played it. I never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of How Things Work in general?
No.
Or The Way Things Work?
No.
It was like a book thing, and maybe a website as well, I'm not sure.
So the one,
but it's got a lot of shit, a lot of stuff in it, like based around different things.
Nice.
Like there's biology, there's science, and mechanics, and it's just
definitely send it to me because I want to check that out.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, LGR did a video on it.
There's a little light up here you can turn on and off.
Huh. You know, things like that in a menu are completely pointless.
Yeah.
They serve literally no purpose, and probably 0.1% of people who play the game find it. But it's nice they put it there.
And like you can make the 3rd grade part do a little zappy thing.
If I can open up the right Discord menu.
We've been waiting for you. Please sign in. We've got a busy day ahead. If you're new to this school, please use the keyboard to enter your name.
Or if you're old to this school, do you enter it with a controller or something?
The one downside is there's no subtitles. So when they tell us stuff, we have to actually be quiet to pay attention to what they need.
Needy.
Yeah.
Please enter and have a seat. Sit up straight. No slouching in this classroom. Is that gum in your mouth? Sorry, My mistake.
What if it is?
Can't tell me what to do. I'm going to say cross-legged and slouch forward. Oh my god, I want that pen.
Casual rocket pen.
I want that pen.
Deploys his own parachute.
I destroy everything, but I want that pen. Also, just say now, if you do plan to stream the way things work, I'm definitely here for that.
Yeah, if I can get it to work on this computer, I'll definitely stream it.
I used to play it on a Windows 98 computer.
Okay, it'll probably work then.
Platform, Windows 3.x. Game year, 94. Wait, was it the way things work? No, it wasn't. It was a different game I'm thinking of. Yeah, how come the bunny gets ice cream and I don't? What the? I'm pretty sure game designers in like the 90s were all on something. Probably a concoction of multiple things.
The equals MC square was trying to escape.
What the? Oh, nice clipping going on there.
Yeah. So it's possible we might have speed issues, and I might have to slow down the processor.
Oh, turbo mode for the win.
Meant for me to fly, he'd have given me wings. But what could I do? This mission is too important. Now where could it be? You startled me.
Spotlight.
I didn't think anyone would be here. Hey, you've got that, the transquizzer. Now be careful with that thing. Don't drop it. The future of the world may depend on that little machine in your hands.
Transquizzer, you say?
That is, if I'm not too late. There's just so little time and so much to do.
What's the pronouns of this transquizzer?
Questions 3.
Nah. Well, it's worth a try. Listen, I need your help, and if you think you can handle it, you can help me save the world. I am Android XL2, but you can call me Botley. That's what Professor Spark calls me. His daughter Polly calls me... Well, never mind what Polly calls me.
The
professor created me as a prototype companion device. You see, he was having such trouble finding sitters for Polly because she scares them all away. So he invented me. I'm also programmed to be her friend. And believe me, it's tougher than it sounds. I'm not getting to the point, am I? Here, let me start from the beginning.
Oh my god, Microsoft Encarta.
This morning,
That was
Polly's
an
father,
adventure.
he left for another one of his famous inventors' conventions, and he programmed me to keep an eye on Polly. I'm supposed to keep her out of trouble. With Polly, that's always tough. But today, it was impossible. After coming home from school and madder than I've ever seen her, Polly locked herself in her father's secret chamber. Now, I really shouldn't tell you this because I've been programmed for secrecy, but this being a world emergency and all, well... The professor has an honest-to-goodness time machine up there, and it really works. Not only that, but Polly sent 25 of the other androids back in time. The whole world is changing, and the changes of Polly written all over them. Cars don't exist anymore, and now everyone has to travel by pogo stick. An orangutan has just been elected president of the United States in a landslide. And the Statue of Liberty is now the Statue of Licorice.
Is that bottom one foreshadowing?
It's all
The
happening so
orangutan is
quickly.
president.
Probably do a better
But
job
with
than
your
Trump
help,
did.
I think we can rescue all the androids and maybe stop the world from getting too weird. Just hand me the transquizzer. I think it's got all the information we need to get started.
So the woman who plays Botley's voice actor is in a ton of shit.
Oh.
174 actor credits. 176 actor credits.
I'll bug
Damn.
you till you agree to help. Please, please, please.
Oh, yeah, I'm not giving it to me yet because of this.
Please, please help. I'll bug you till you agree to help. Please, please, please. Have I bugged you enough? No? Please, please help.
Oh, here's the best part. Botley and Polly Spark
bug you
are
till you
both
agree to
played
help.
by
Please,
this
please, please.
voice actor. So the game is her arguing with herself.
I mean, I didn't even need to play to experience arguing myself.
Bitrate's all crunchy right now.
Have I bugged you enough? No? Please, please help.
Yeah, he's just gonna loop now.
Cool. Now hang on tight. Come with me.
She played in the Oblongs.
I don't know that one.
It's a Adult Swim show.
Still don't know it. Oh, I wish there was a way I could just type into Google like PC games I played on my first computer when I was 10.
She voices the baby dragons in Spyro Enter the Dragonfly.
Yeah, I'm kind of uncultured when it comes to
Sorry about the landing. I wasn't programmed
probably
to
everything
fly.
she's been in.
Well, this is it. Home sweet home. Polly should be inside.
She played a shit ton of voices in EverQuest 2. JT
At least I know of
Hoofberger.
that one.
JT Hoofberger in Psychonauts.
As I was saying, this is the Professor's Mountain. Polly should be inside, and I just bet she's watching us now.
That's Jeannie Elias is the voice actor.
Oh, that was funny. Watching that poor dumb robot flying back in time. I couldn't ask for a better way to spend the afternoon. In another day, the world will see the dawning of Polly's planet. Whoops! It seems there's someone at the door. Let's take a little peek. Oh, it's only Botley. He knows I don't like to be disturbed when I'm working. It breaks my concentration. Okay, let's see what he wants. This might be fun. Oh, Snotley, you're back. I've been looking for you.
My name is Botley.
I can see you brought help. And you've got the transquizzer.
She knows we need it to save the world.
Didn't my father teach you it's rude to tell secrets, Rotley? Well, I suppose he's told you his side of everything. But what does he know? Today, when I was at school, the teacher handed us a surprise quiz. I already knew all the answers, and she knew I knew them. So, just to have some fun, I made up my own answers to that dumb old quiz. But instead of laughing like she was supposed to, she gave me a big fat 0. I felt faint and short of breath. No one's ever given me a 0 before.
Well, that's not quite true, Polly. I remember just 2 weeks ago.
Be quiet, Plotley. This is my story.
Plotley.
Anyway, after getting my first 0 ever, I got the most brilliant idea. Instead of settling for a bad grade, I changed history to match my answers.
So you sent 25 of your father's robots back in time to change history? How could you do that, Polly?
Oh, that was the easy part, since Daddy just invented that handy-dandy time machine upstairs. Everyone should have
You know,
one.
as you do.
I just marched those robots into the machine,
just
pushed
casually,
the
yeah.
buttons, and voila! Unfortunately, there's still one more question. The extra credit question. And it's super hard. That's why I've been looking for you, Notley.
That's Botley. And I want nothing to do with your plan, Polly. Just bring those robots back. Don't you see? You could destroy us all.
You could destroy us all. Please, Spotley, if you're so scared, why don't you just bring him back yourself? You've got my transquizzer. Now all you need are the questions on my history quiz. To make it so easy even you can figure it out, I'll leave the disc with the first part of the test on the first floor. That's 5 questions total. Just plug that disc into the transquizzer. Then figuring out where I sent the robots should be simple. But I'm warning you, if I don't get them all back soon, I'm sending you off to do the extra credit question. Oh, by the way, you have to get in the house first. And I've changed the locks. Good luck!
Oh, that's just great. How are we gonna get into the mountain?
It's Simon
See,
Says.
the professor's lock system only opens when you reproduce the chimes you hear. Ring the doorbell to start the chimes. That will start the unlocking mechanism. Just listen closely and repeat what you've heard by clicking on the correct door panels. All right. All right. Good job, you opened the lock.
All right. Oh fuck.
Top right.
I thought it started on
It was
green.
top right, middle left, bottom right, middle right.
I thought it started
Or it
on
was
green.
middle left, top right. If you go that one,
Get
then
inside
that
and fast. There's no telling what Polly's up to
Shut
next.
up.
top.
Only one more lock to go.
Was the second one middle right? I know it started down here.
The world will
I
turn on its
have
head if we don't
no
rescue those robots from the past.
dear.
That's it, you open
Memory's
the door.
kind of shit.
Now,
What
be
memory?
quiet and follow me. First, though, let me put this in a
Notice your
safe
aliasing
place.
on your art there.
On second thought, maybe it's safer with you. It's the utility belt that Professor Spark designed for me, and it's quite an achievement. Over there's a button that will take you out of any room in the mountain. The indicator next to it tells you how much energy is left to power the mountain. Now, if you ever need assistance, push on this button, and I'll do what I can to help. In the middle of the belt is the inventory. That's where we can store things we find in the mountain. The transquizzer, for instance. Professor Spark has set up a lot of games inside the mountain for Polly, me, and the other robots. If you click on this button, you can make some of them harder or easier to play. Finally, this score keeps track of how many invention points we earn. By opening the door, you've already earned a few points. Now, our destiny.
Is it me or is that belt at the bottom, like,
This
because
is
the shading,
professor's
it looks
home and
upside down?
laboratory. It's an entirely self-sufficient environment. We don't have to leave the mountain for anything. The
Yeah,
professor
it's like
would
being
include
illuminated
recreational
from
and
us.
cultural activities, so he and Polly wouldn't get
Whereas
bored.
everything else in the
I
scene is
suppose I should
illuminated
give
from
you the
above.
two-set
Yeah.
tour of the place.
It's like the light
There's
source is
the
over
kitchen,
here
where we feature the very finest
because of the
robot
shadow
cuisine.
here and this
Back
here.
there's the art gallery.
Oh, light
That
source is
door the
right in the
music
middle on
room.
that I
When
button.
Polly takes her
Yeah.
weekly music lesson there, the whole place clears out. Behind that door are stairs leading to the professor's jumbo electro generator. If necessary, we might have to go down there to power up. Finally, that stairway leads to the upper floors, filled with the professor's inventions. His most amazing invention, the time machine, is at the very top. Maybe later we'll have time to explore, but now we have to stop Polly from making the world too weird. To do that, we need to find that quiz disc. Hey, there it is. Pull out the transquizzer by clicking on the inventory button. All All right, it looks like the disc should be inserted in the slot near the top of the transquizzer.
Good morning, Polly. I
Nope,
hope you
completely
studied for
a
the
disc.
quiz today. You may have a lot of natural
It's a
ability,
floppy disk,
but even geniuses need to
but
study.
futuristic.
That's Polly's teacher, Ms. Winkle. At that school on the hill, everything's
These days, you'd
state-of-the-art.
struggle to understand if it was a thumb drive.
So all three characters on the
SD
screen,
card.
all three characters on the screen are played by the same person.
Now, today's quiz is all about inventions and discoveries, something you should know plenty about, Polly. But no fair asking your father for help.
See, everyone's impressed by the professor.
There are 25 questions total, Polly. 5 on each of the 5 discs I've passed out to you and the rest of the class. That's 5 different levels. So, sit up straight, put on your thinking cap, and select your first question.
Okay, what we should do first is select one of the quiz questions.
Yep, got my
Just
glasses
click on any
on.
one of the 5 buttons near the bottom of the transquizzer. Since we've got to bring
So you got
all
your
the
glasses
robots
on.
back,
Got my
the
glasses.
order doesn't really matter.
Graces?
Graces. it's a
I'm
reference.
sorry, his face.
Huh?
His face looks like he's got something to say. Like he hasn't finished talking. There's something more to say.
But it's a reference to Berserk. The original anime had the worst opening, and it's like, put your glasses on and nothing will be wrong. Tell me what you say. It's fucking awful.
See, at this point, I'm not sure if it's just me being uncultured
Click on
or
the
just
yellow
me
start
being
button to
British.
hear this question.
Oh God, pardon me.
Today we know that the Earth revolves around.
People once thought the Earth was the center of the universe
Trump.
and everything revolved around it. That's because when they looked up in the sky, the sun and the stars all appeared to be moving around the Earth. A nice idea, but appearances can be deceiving. Today we know that the Earth revolves around what? Miss Winkle, as everybody knows, I am the center of the universe.
God damn it, they made the same joke I was
Polly,
gonna
you're
make.
Exactly right. The whole world
She's basically
revolves
Kid Trump.
around you.
Heavens, Polly is just too much to bear. She used to think she was the center of the universe. Now she really is. We need to go back in time and straighten this mess out, or life as we know it will change drastically. Click on the inventory button to put away the transquizzer. Polly, you
old
know
3D.
I've been programmed to clean up your messes, and that includes
Look at
cleaning
that
down my
dithering.
robot pals. I know you won't
Well,
tell
it's
me
not.
where they
It's not even
are.
3D, is it?
How about a
It's
little hint?
it's a screenshot of a really, really low poly, low res render.
It's also in 256 color, so you have a lot of dithering. I love dithering.
4 clues total. You and your friend will have to find.
It's
and
not the
collect them
90s if
all.
it's not
And
dithered.
even if you can find them all, which I highly doubt you can, you will still have to go to Daddy's time machine and figure out where I sent the robot if you expect to beat me. Oh, by the way, you know how Daddy feels about amateurs going into the time machine room. It's a very sensitive piece of equipment, you know. So, before a hunk of rusty bolts like you can get inside, you'll have to earn a bunch of invention points. 1,000 of them should just about do it for starters.
Well, Polly,
They give a lot pretty quick.
Okay. It looks like we have no choice but to play by your rules.
It's one of those games that gives
Fair
less
as
over
they
time.
are. Just tell us
No,
what
it's
we
just
need
it's
to
just
find for
the
this
way to
mission.
get them is harder.
Relax, Skelly.
Because like you're going through the class, so
so
it's easy at the start, hard at the end.
Center of the universe. You can get him back if you find these 4 clues: a pig, a sundial, a postage stamp, and a $1 bill. But
Just playing this on
what's up,
maximum
good thing?
difficulty.
We basically are.
Cosmobot and I never used to get along, but now we're pals. I can't believe Polly reprogrammed him for her selfish purposes. We have to find those clues and get Cosmobot back. Finding the clues should be a little less hopeless.
Do you remember what
than
they
my
were?
Powerful censoring device. Professor Spark hooked me up this way so I could better keep an eye on Polly.
I have pig and stamp.
Shh! I'm gonna try to sense
Ooh,
this area.
I didn't realise I was
Please.
meant to be remembering things.
Hey,
You really
look,
chose the wrong
I'm
person to
sensing a
co-op stream
mission
for
clue
remembering
in
things.
the kitchen. There's also a mission clue in the painting gallery.
the clues themselves don't matter as much. What matters is where the clues are. So we gotta go to the kitchen and painting gallery first.
I don't know why, but sundial is in my head for something, and it's probably unrelated to absolutely everything.
That was one of the clues. Or that was one of the items.
I remembered something.
It was pig, sundial, stamp, and something else. Let's go to the kitchen. Maths.
This is the door to the kitchen. Everyone
2
eats
plus
here.
2 is 4,
Polly,
minus
your
1, that's
dad,
3, quick
and
maths.
of course, all us robots. The professor put a lock on it months ago because some of the robots were getting a little gluttonous. I mean, they'd eat all the time if they could. I used to know the combination, but it looks like Polly's changed this lock. You can figure out the combination if you can figure out the math problems that appear on the door. That's Mort peeking out from inside.
Mort.
He's one of the nicer robots around here, but he gets a little cranky when he hasn't eaten.
Thank goodness you're here. My stomach's rumbling, and I don't know how to cook.
I'm not sure what Polly has planned for us inside, but we need to get beyond this door.
I'll say you do. Polly has left me in charge of something very important. There's a clue in here, but you have to feed me first. I'm so hungry. I'll even try to help you out. Anything to speed up my lunch.
Ah, thanks,
Oh,
Matt.
like
Dollar
my
bill.
math,
Dollar bill.
And I'm famished.
Click on the arrows on the
I'm gonna
tiles
write
at the
it
bottom
down.
of the equation.
Pig,
The up arrows will increase the number.
bill,
The down arrows will decrease it.
sundial,
When you
stamp.
think you've got the correct number in the tile, click the glowing enter button beneath it. If you want, you can also enter numbers using your keyboard. Then press enter. It looks like you have to solve an addition. I don't think that number's right. Try again. Try again.
So clunky.
Can you type it though?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
You got the first lock. 2 more to go.
But you have to type it from the ones position
It looks
onward.
like you have to solve an addition problem to open this lock. That's no problem for you.
To add numbers in a column, you have to add the numbers for each place value.
All right, you got 2 locks. Just 1 more. It looks like you have to solve an...
To add numbers in a column, you have to add the...
You did it! I knew Polly couldn't keep us out. This is Professor Sparks' kitchen, but I doubt your kitchen is anything like this, unless you happen to have lots of hungry robots hanging around your house.
It's not far
See
off.
that machine
It's
in the
just
middle of the room? It's the robot.
not oil.
2 things you should know about robots. 1, they're usually hungry. And 2, their table manners are atrocious. Around now, I'd normally be hungry enough
Wait,
to
am I getting called out by a robot?
But Polly's behavior has made me lose my
It
appetite.
said robots have atrocious table manners.
Hey, if you
And are
can't
usually
stand the
hungry.
heat, get out of the kitchen, Spotly.
Yeah, so am
Of
I.
course, if you do leave, you won't be able to find the mission clue I've hidden in
Well, I have some news for you.
Polly, there are so many hiding places. At
Beeps
least give us a
angrily.
hint.
Boy, can you be dense. What do you think? Mort's hanging around here for the fun of it?
Okay, I get it. If you want, you can click around the kitchen to check out some of the cool stuff in here. But to feed Mort and help save the world, click on the feeding machine. I have to warn you, though, watch your fingers and toes around hungry robots. Here it is, Professor Sparks' robot feeding machine. Patent pending. I've wandered in here for a midnight snack many times myself, but now it looks like we've got to feed Mort.
This man has one
Yes,
brain
Marty.
cell.
It's time for a little snack.
Don't you worry, Mort. I've got help today.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, I can see
because
that.
I know I have something you need. Desperately.
After Mort calls for a snack, he'll tell you what toppings he wants on it, and exactly how much of each topping he wants. When you turn on the machine, Mort's robot bowl will move along the conveyor belt in front of me, while the toppings move along the conveyor belts behind me. What you need to do is measure each of the toppings and drop exactly what Mort wants in his bowl. To measure any of the toppings, you first have to click on one of the instruments on the back wall to pick it up. Then, use the instrument to click on the topping you want to add to the bowl. Finally, click on the bowl as it moves down the conveyor belt to top Mort's snack with the ingredient.
Don't forget, Bartley, that I'm a very picky robot. So if too much or too little of any topping winds up in my bowl, I could get an upset stomach. Luckily, you can turn the machine off to remove that topping. Turn the machine back on to continue.
What's your pleasure, Mort?
Oh, I know. May I please have a dish of chicken curry? And that goes great with some good soap. A little gold bullion, super concentrated lemon juice, and some vitamin B12.
Yum! That sounds delicious. Now click on the on-off switch in front of the feeding machine, and I'll crank this baby into gear. Bon appetit!
That response then, saying it was delicious, was so nebulous I'm not even sure if it was sarcastic or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I don't think you're finished yet. Click on the switch to continue preparing Mort's meal.
In the United States, most people still use cups to measure liquids and other ingredients, while weight is measured in pounds and ounces. In this kitchen, we still measure some things with cups.
Mort actually sounds depressed that they're using mostly metric but some imperial.
Yeah.
Mort has one brain cell and it's still correct.
Also, molecules isn't really a measurement.
It is in atomic values.
Right, but 101,000 molecules. Just say you want a handful. These do go faster later. Tell you what, what's one thing nobody talks about? Centiliters.
God, centiliters are just, yeah. I don't know why, like, alcohol over here is sold in centiliters, but everything else is milliliters or liters.
Yeah.
And on the continent, I'm pretty sure things still come in liters, like half a litre. Or 0.33 litres. You get it often on imported bottles and cans.
See, like, I have most things about this game I don't remember what they look like. So vitamin B12 being a giant fucking pill is hilarious to me.
It could be way worse.
I don't think you're finished yet. Click on the switch to continue preparing Mort's meal.
What?
Do you have to wait for the bowl to get to more?
I guess. Because I have a quarter cup of soap.
Boy.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there we go.
After a while, it just recognizes that everything's there.
Just gotta wait for the computer to wake up and realize it.
Which is hilarious, because the computer's currently running at 3.8 gigahertz.
Thank you so much. I couldn't eat another bite.
All right, you've won.
To be honest, I think I agree with Mort. I couldn't eat another bite either.
Another fine meal and another tip well deserved.
I'd be pretty full too if I just had a fistful of B12 pills.
Don't forget the 300 mils of super concentrated lemon juice. I mean, your face would be inside out.
Hey, we're in luck. I'm sensing a mission clue in the painting gallery.
Okay, so here it is. In information, you can go to this and it tells you what clues you need. So you need 4 clues for every robot. And there's 25 robots, so at the end you'll have 100 clues.
That's a lot of stuff to do.
Mini games are all pretty quick.
As long as they're not as long as feeding more,
This is
then
Professor
that's
Sparks'
fine.
art gallery.
They all
It's sort
start
of
that
an
slow,
art museum
but all
and an
get
art
faster.
studio combined. That odd-looking machine over
I've beaten
there
this
is his
game once.
virtual collection, where the professor
And I was
keeps
like
a
12.
display of some of the most famous works of art in the world. You can also
Yeah, but when
go
you're like
into the
12,
painting gallery in the back
an
to create
hour
your
is
own
like
masterpiece.
equivalent to
Don't forget to
10
bring your
minutes for us.
imagination.
Yeah.
If you're going to
It's
visit
the other way around, an hour
gallery,
to us,
you
10
let
minutes
me
when you're a
know if you
child.
find any of Polly's things hidden in there. If I've told her once, I've
Well,
told
that's
her
why I
a
have the stream
thousand
set
times.
as part
Don't
1.
mess up the collection. Of course, she doesn't listen to me. Why, once I found a Romanesque urn next to a Baroque.
That's Mrs. Beasley.
Oh,
She's the
Baroque.
resident art expert. Some say she's as old as some of the Greco-Roman statues in here.
I heard that, you hotshot silicon chipsters. So smart and so fast and so what?
It's not
I've
my
got more
fault
sense
you're
in my
running
vacuum
valves,
tubes
lady.
than a lot of you.
Well, if we have any questions about the art, we'll be sure to ask you. My gut feeling is that there's a clue in the painting gallery. It's right behind me. This room looks like an ordinary painting gallery, but Polly's father created it so anyone can make their own art.
Heidi-ho, Snotley. I hid one of the mission clues here, and if you want it, either you or your friend will have to paint me a pretty picture. Of course, I get to tell you exactly what to paint. And it better be good. I've always wanted a painting that showed something like this. The goldfish underwater. I set my goldfish free in the ocean. He wouldn't swim away. He just went up and down like he was waiting for me.
Click on any of the empty frames to begin painting. Click on the sheet of paper on the floor to read Polly's story.
I guess that can count as subtitles.
I guess.
It's TC.
So the deal here is that Polly wants us to illustrate her strange story. I don't have much of an artistic flair. It's just not in my programming. So it looks like it's up to you. Luckily, Professor Spark made it so anyone can paint like one of the great masters. To your left are all the tools you'll need, and at the bottom are lots of cool colors. If you need to be reminded of what Polly's demanding, click on the card on the lower left corner of the frame. When you go back to the gallery, you'll see your work already hanging on the wall. Then we'll find out if Polly likes it. But don't let her opinion matter to you. I don't know much about the artistic process, but my inner transistors tell me that selecting the background first is the best way to illustrate Polly's story.
I'm tempted to do something, and I need to know if it actually works.
I know exactly what I think you're gonna do.
It does not. Damn it.
Then I do not know what you were gonna do.
Hey, Chris. My idea was, since you have to paint these, I connect my drawing tablet and draw with that. But it needs Windows 7 or above.
I mean, if you're willing to pay for shipping, I have one that works on Windows 98, and it is massive. It's a full A4 drawing sheet, but the tablet itself is bigger than A3.
Maybe you can include that with the mask when you send it.
Oh, that's gonna be a much bigger box, like double, maybe triple the delivery. Like, no joke, the thing is massive. And I don't know where the pen for it is. It's also not sensitive at all and crap to draw on. It just works with Windows 98.
So basically what I'm working with here is I wouldn't say I draw. I attempt. Yeah. Said goldfish, yeah? Yeah, goldfish free in the ocean. Wouldn't swim away, he just went up and down like he was waiting for me. I'm not worrying about drawing in the lines. Just
Drawing in the lines is just a conspiracy by Big School. God, the window sounds.
so how do you end?
Alt F4.
I actually don't know if that works on this game.
Is it the green button at the end?
No, I just tried that.
Paint.
I don't know why they're glowing, because goldfish have nothing to do with red or green.
That's a good suggestion by Chris. Can you play Smoke on the Water with the paint colours?
See, it starts on G. Is that G?
I guess that's a yes.
Nope. Nope. No. Oh fuck, what is it? Nope, that's not it either. There we go. Got Feralise in there too.
God. What has this turned into? Because it's not where it started.
Oh!
Fish.
Look at it go though.
I mean, I felt like that before, but it wasn't because of a glitch.
Okay, I seriously don't know how to end.
Now, is it the green one?
Nope.
Click on any of the tools or buttons if you want me to explain what they are. When you want to work, just click on me and I'll skedaddle. I know that great artists need their space.
Click the green button, maybe.
These are the colors you can use. Click on one to choose it. Click on the sticker button to put a sticker in your painting. But I have to warn you, don't expect all these stickers to stick to one spot. Something you can move by holding down the mouse button and dragging the sticker across the canvas. When you release the mouse button, the sticker will move by itself.
Oh. That fish is entering a new dimension.
God. Dude, I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
The zap button lets you get rid of any animated stickers you've already put in your painting. Click on the button, then click on the sticker you want to zap. Poof, and it's gone. Click on the printer button to print your painting and hang it on your own wall.
How do I finish? How do I know when I'm done?
Oh, usually when you make a mess, that's when you know you're done.
Yeah. Okay. JumpStart, art gallery. Tell me what the fuck.
It's not the green button bottom left, or is that retry?
Green button bottom left. That's
On
exit.
the toolbar. Or the big white one?
That's how much power I have. Oh, yeah, it's just that.
Beautiful job. Just pick up the clue and add it to the inventory.
Got there in the end.
Okay, there aren't any mission clues on this floor. Let's go searching on another floor.
Got those handrails doing the boople.
You know it's bad when even the handrails have better boobs than you do.
The professor's inventions get more secret and bizarre. Here we have the professor's delicate biosphere. And over there, we have the professor's shrinkomatic, an easy way to shed a few robot pounds. That tram there will take us even further up into the mountain.
The shrinkomatic is
Some of
brick
the
breaker.
professor's other inventions, including his famous time machine. If you want to go back to the first floor, click on these stairs. Stand back now while I sense the place out. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue in the professor's biosphere.
Of course.
I'm picking up a clue.
Feed me, Seymour.
God, yeah, it is, isn't it?
See that glass dome? That's Professor Spark's biosphere. In it, he can grow anything he wants from any part of the world.
I'm just a mean green
It's
mother
kinda like
from
a
outer
vegetable
space and I'm
And to
bad.
protect the biosphere from outside contamination,
Just a mean green mother
the
from
professor
outer
has
space
set up
and
a
it looks
remote
like you've
control
been
way of
had.
working inside it. See over there? Those are explorers the professor designed to fly into the biosphere. And on that monitor is where you can watch the explorer as you maneuver it anywhere you want. Inside, there are 5 different environments to check out. A desert, a rainforest, a mountain range, a grassland, and even an ocean. Each one contains plants and animals you might find in those places.
Oh, Muttley, over here. Daddy doesn't deserve all the credit. I planted some things in the biosphere, too.
Sure, Polly. Whatever you say.
I did. You don't have to believe me, but I just thought you might be interested in knowing that I planted a mission clue in there. You can't get your poor robot friend back without it. Don't expect me to tell you where I hid it, though. That would be too easy.
Polly, the biosphere's huge. You're expecting us to find a needle in the haystack, so to speak.
Relax, Nutley. I know Daddy didn't exactly overload you with smarts. I guess I can even the playing field and give you some hints along the way. And here's your first hint. get one of those explorers launched. Even you should be able to understand that.
Boy, someday. Well, let's launch one of these babies and see what Polly's got in store for us inside that biosphere. Click on the launch button on the console to send the explorer inside. Okay, now we can navigate the explorer around the biosphere by watching it on this monitor. Click on the monitor for a closer look. This is weird. It seems like the explorer is underground. I guess what we need to do is fly up into the biosphere. That should be right above us. To fly the explorer, use the arrow keys on your keyboard. Press the up arrow to blast the explorer forward, and press the left and right arrows to rotate it.
Take a crack at this mind bender. Which house is made of dry mud? An igloo, a greenhouse, or an adobe hut?
An adobe hut.
Wait till
Adobe hut.
next time.
These days, though, an Adobe hut's made of copious amounts of monthly payments.
It's what you make out of your bills from Adobe.
These questions are easy, but then again...
That's all you have left to
easy
make after
for
you've
me.
paid your bills to Adobe. You've
Which
mortgaged your
animal
house, you
flies
sold your
highest
car,
in
you
the
just got a
air?
mud
A
hut.
grasshopper, a vulture, or a
Then you're gonna have to get a
vampire
second
bat?
mortgage on that for next month.
Big deal, you got one right. This brain tickler is sure to leave you high and dry. What do you call a dry riverbed? A marsh, an arroyo, a waterfall?
An arroyo.
That was way
It's the only one that's not actually dry.
Yeah.
The only one that's actually dry on that list.
And if I didn't know that, I would know it from Fallout. 'Cause
I didn't know it, but I know marshland is just like swampland.
Yeah.
And waterfall, well, I mean, come on.
I mean, it is a waterfall. That's what water
Not
does.
a waterfell.
Technically, everything is a waterfell.
Here's a tough question that's bound to hold you back. What do you call an area with fresh water and plant life?
A flooded
I
campsite is a
Oasis,
waterfell.
a sand dune, or an
Because it's
iceberg?
past tense.
That was way too easy. Don't bang your head against the wall trying to figure this one out. Which bird pecks a hole in the side of large plants and trees to build its
Woodpecker.
nest? A hummingbird, a pelican, a woodpecker.
Also, if she
My neighbour.
also if
Goddamn.
if she knows all this stuff, she could just do her homework.
Big deal, you got one right.
You've got like 3 right.
You have 5
Good
right.
job. We're above ground. The professor reproduced 5 different environments here. You have to find the one where Polly hid her clue. Press the spacebar to launch a probe. It'll give you an eyewitness view of what's down there. Then match what you find with Polly's hints. When you think you figured out the right environment, land the explorer in the designated landing pad. Each environment has one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right here. Because I'm in front of an oasis.
I'm in front of a Pepsi.
That was some smooth landing. Now we can open that box by clicking on the key on the console.
That was a really long joke and I apologise for
Great,
that.
you got the clue. There are no mission clues on this floor. Yes, we're at the very top of the mountain. Just knowing what's up here gives me chills. Still, I'd go anywhere and face any danger to save my fellow robots. Over there, we have the professor's observatory. Once,
He looks a bit like,
he caught Polly spying on the neighbors with the telescope.
is it Finley
Boy,
from
did she
iRobot?
get a nice long time out. In that room is a
I haven't seen
little
iRobot in a
obstacle
long
course,
time.
Sort of a robot boot
Like the
camp.
main character.
The professor uses it to test
Robbie.
out his new robots.
Yeah, kinda.
Of course, I passed with flying colors when I was tested, but sometimes he comes across a robot with a few bugs that need to be worked out. If you want to go back downstairs, just click on the tram. Oh, and over there, behind those forbidding stone doors, that's where the professor stores the time machine. There's no way to open it, though, until we have all of Polly's mission clues and, of course, enough invention points. Stand back now while I sense the place out. No doubt about it, there's a clue in the robot maze. That's where the professor stores the time machine. There's no way to open it, though, until we have all of Polly's mission clues and, of course, enough invention points.
So the observatory over here is basically what I think of when I think of Myst for kids.
Oh god, Myst. I've heard so much about it, but I never played it.
I happen to have several versions of Myst. I've never beaten
This
it.
is the most dangerous part of the mountain. That's why Professor Spark uses it as an obstacle
I know
course
nothing
for
about it
testing
other
out
than it was
new
meant to be this
robots.
next big thing, and now it's
With all
basically
the
just crowding all
treacherous paths and
goodwills.
sharp turns, it's the perfect way to test out the latest in robot navigational technology. No way are we going down there ourselves, though. If you make one false move in this room, you could... well, you don't want to know what could happen.
You're right, Motley. That little box down there contains the mission clue you so desperately need. I programmed that stupid robot to put that box where you wouldn't be able to reach it. Then I scrambled the commands. See if you can unscramble them.
We'll see, Polly. Two heads are better than one.
Not if one of them is yours, Snotley.
Okay, as far as I can figure, here's the situation. That robot has been specially designed to maneuver his way down there. He's really good at following directions, and he's got nerves of steel. So what you have to do is rearrange all the robot's commands on that remote control device in front of you, so they're in the correct order. The commands tell him which way to move. Just click on the command you want to move, then drag it to where you want it to go. When you press the run button at the bottom of the remote control, the robot will follow your directions to get to that box, if the order is correct. If not, well, better him than me.
This probably takes the longest because you're waiting for a robot to move. Silent.
Oh, I'm glad he at least tiptoed across the log so we didn't have to listen to him.
Yeah. I actually think the sound is playing twice.
It is, yeah.
Fantastic! The robot made it through the maze. You are some slick programmer. Great! Take the clue and put it in
God,
your
you look so
inventory.
weird.
Then, on to complete this mission.
So pleased with
That is a
myself.
creepy robot.
I apologize.
I don't
for
really think
nothing.
it should be a hand in that robot's box, because what's in that box is not what we want.
1. Open the box. 2. Put your hand in the box.
Alright, we got all the mission clues.
Goes to
Now
court
we
for
need is enough
assault.
invention
And a
points.
dick in the box.
We need 1,000 total. We're gonna have to play some of the games on this floor to win some more points. Let's check out the robot obstacle course.
Let's not.
We've collected all the mission. This is Professor Spark's masterpiece. Well, one of them anyway. He calls it the
Shark.
something or other. We call
Shark.
it the shrink
Shark. Hammerhead shark.
Anything or anyone to the
This is a
size
tiny
of a
hammerhead.
medium-large molecule, with the help of my good friend Egbert.
Wait, Chris, you see me not playing this on the hardest
You know what
difficulty?
a molecule is? Well, it's one of the tiniest things around. Everything's
Oh, that's
made
right. I feel
like we
one
definitely
way
should
or
be.
another, and it's impossible to see them with the
I think
naked
there's 3
eye.
levels.
As
I
you
think
can
it
see,
defaults to level
Egbert's full
1.
of facts. He manages all the specimens
you
in this
need to
place.
level
He's
it up.
deeply attached to them. Anything you need to know about any of them, he can tell you.
Oh, yes. So if you want to know about any of my wonderful specimens, just pick up this analyzer and click on it. But please, don't hurt the specimens.
Well, too bad there's no clue here, Grotley. But I guess that will come in handy if you need some extra invention points, because I miniaturized a few and hid them inside one of those specimens. It's almost too easy.
Which specimen, Polly? Give us a hint.
Okay, Potley, okay. Anything to stop your whining. Egbert once put this specimen on a liquid diet.
I had no choice. This specimen is incapable of chewing.
So we have to figure out which specimen Polly is talking about. That's where Egbert will come in handy. Use his analyzer to get information on any of the specimens
Frog.
and to help you
I don't think
determine
frogs
which
can
is the right
chew.
one. When you think you know the right specimen, hand the analyzer back to Egbert. You can then move
They do
the
chew
specimen
insects
over
to a
the
degree.
shrinkomatic. Once it's there,
I think it's more just
Egbert can shrink me
clam
to the size
squishing
of
them.
a molecule. Then
Oh,
I
you
can
know what?
dive into the specimen and find
Meth
what we're
is right.
looking
Snakes
for.
can't chew. Their body like tightens until they crush them. They don't chew.
Yeah, that's why they swallow everything whole.
But which snake? There's 2 of them.
Bottom one's cobra, it bites. Top one's a boa constrictor. I'm assuming it means top.
Bottom one's a rattlesnake.
That's the one I meant.
Rattlesnake. The rattlesnake gets its name from the scary noise it makes with its tail when frightened. The strange thing about rattlesnakes is that they can't hear their own rattle. Rattlesnakes are deaf. Dear. Boa constrictor. The boa constrictor is a long snake that suffocates its prey. It wraps its long body around a small animal and squeezes the breath
there it
out
is.
of it. Then it begins the slow process of eating the prey whole.
I wonder what snake that Snecky Snack is meant to be.
Snaky snake. Which one?
The razor one.
Do
Oh.
you think that's the right specimen? If so,
The one
just
that's
click
staring
on
at
the
me from
microscope
above my
on the
PC.
floor.
Ready, Botley? Hold on tight. It is some ride, I'm told.
Tis a far better thing, Arthur!
Yeah, see, this is just Brick Breaker.
If you chose the right specimen, the
You mean
object Polly
Arkanoid?
hid should be somewhere inside
Same
that
deal.
giant molecular thingamabob up there. You just have to bat me into that stuff until it's
Or
revealed.
single player Pong.
Click on the mouse
Yeah.
button to launch me into inner space. Then use the
Let me
mouse
level
to
up.
move the magnet. I can't stay small forever though, so try to get through the molecules before I return to my regular size. I won't last more than 10 rounds in here, so you have to work quick. Click on the mouse to launch me.
Well, let's go to level 2.
Cop out. Oh god.
The way
Fine.
Go hard or go home.
alley-oop.
There's something satisfying about seeing him bounce off walls.
It doesn't help that this thing has a vignette, so I can't
Now
see
I know
the
how
edges.
pinball feels.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dodgy design choice, that. At least he bounces perfectly 45 every time. Well, technically, 90 travels at a 45.
The deeper tone means we're getting closer to that core. Honestly, the worst of this game is just it can take a while. Just because angles are weird.
Nope, not
Yeah.
there. I guess we'll have to go back to the shrinking machine and try again. Click anywhere.
I like that way to exit a minigame. Click
I guess
anywhere.
It's pretty clear that wasn't the right specimen. Concentrate on Polly's
But
hand.
where's anywhere?
Look for the specimen that only eats liquids. We should go to the time machine to complete this mission. Let's...
Wait, if it only eats liquids, it could be the rattlesnake, because it injects venom. That
We
liquid
made it. We got all the clues. We've got
makes
enough
middle
invention
go
points.
runny.
Maybe.
Before anyone insults me, it's 10 to 2 here, so it's late. Let me be stupid.
Wow. Excuse me if I sound sort of odd, but I wasn't sure we'd make it to the time machine mission control. It's impressive, huh? This is Professor Sparks' most important work to date, the time machine extraordinaire. The professor created it so he could witness the invention of anything you can think of. Just go back in time and observe. He would never meddle, not like Polly. When he finds out what she's been up to, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in for some serious time out. Now we need to figure out where we have to go in history to complete this mission. That odd-looking machine will help with that task. It's called the Wheel of Invention. And
It's basically the
by
Wheel
using
of Fortune.
Polly's mission clues, we can figure out which inventor
Yeah.
we need to
Not really.
find.
It's more Jeopardy.
The professor
Jeopardy.
tried to ensure that not just anybody could use the time machine. You need to know something about history, science, art, a little bit of everything, really. So click on the wheel and let's get going. We finally made it. This is where we bring everything together and figure out how to find the robot that Polly sent back in time. This is the professor's Wheel of Invention. It's an obstacle to the time machine. You see, some of the robots kept wanting to travel back in time to taunt the early computers. But you can't have that. So the professor devised a little quiz that's too difficult for the robots. But hopefully it's not too difficult for you. Oh, brother. Polly's reprogrammed the wheel so it's no longer just a quiz. It's a quiz show. It seems the show's called Hollywood Squares. And you're the first
Fucking course it
contestant.
is. Hollywood
This
Squares.
is how you play. Answer 3 questions for each of the clues you collected. You'll find out what, when, where, and who. All the information you need to create a profile of your mission.
Once the game begins, you gotta work fast and try to answer each question on the first try. That way you'll win the time key faster and win the most points. Ready, set, okay, let's begin. Just click the on button to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, kids and robots of all ages, it's time to play Hollywood Squares with your telegenic host, me, Monty Monitor. Answer all the questions correctly, and you'll be sent back in time, all expenses paid, to rescue poor
He sounds a bit
Cosmobot.
like Talkie
Your
Toaster
first
from Red
clue
Dwarf.
is a pork chop. The pork chop
Never
will
played
show
it.
you what your mission is all about. I love
TV
pork
sitcom.
chops,
Well,
I'm not the
yeah,
only one.
TV sitcom,
Pork
UK
chops can
old.
be found in cuisines all around
Pretty
the
good.
world.
Like late 90s, early
Pork chops
2000s.
come from which farm
Peak British
animals?
humour.
Pig.
That's right. Pork chops come from pigs. So does ham and bacon. It's all pork and it comes from pigs. Pigs are the only animals besides humans whose skin can get what painful condition?
Tattooed.
Sunburn.
You're right. Hey, pigs get sunburns just like people. Sunburns are caused by overexposure to the powerful rays of the sun. Our sun is actually a star. It's the center of a group of heavenly bodies known as what?
Solar system, innit?
Yeah, it'd be solar system because Milky Way is several solar systems.
Yeah.
You
And
did
universe
it.
is several
Yay.
star
Another word
systems.
for
Yeah.
sun is
Which has
solar.
many.
That's why they call
uh,
it the solar system.
many galaxies in
Milky
it.
Ways.
So it
Well, yeah, many
seems that
galaxies,
Polly
which are
sent
many Milky Ways.
Cosmobot back to the time in history when the solar system was discovered. But where was that?
Weirdly enough, the way I learned
Your
the
second
order of the
clue
solar
is
system
a
of the planets
postage
was
stamp,
from Blue's
and
Clues.
it will tell you where
And it
in
was
the
a
world
song.
your mission will
And I'm
take
not
you.
going to sing it.
Postage
But I'm
stamps
sure
are
it's
a
on
way
YouTube if you wanna
pay for
find it.
sending letters and packages.
Want to know how I
Before
learned
postage stamps
some of the
were
countries of the
invented,
world?
The person who received a letter had to pay for it, not
Go
the
on.
person who sent
The
it.
Warner Brothers,
The postage stamp was first invented
Yakko
by an
Warner
Englishman named
doing
Roland Hill.
his song.
What country did the English inventor
I
of the postage stamp
haven't seen
come
that.
from?
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
Oh, that one. Yeah, no, I know that
Yeah.
one.
Postage stamp was the first invented by an Englishman named Roland Hill. What country? Great Britain, because he's Englishman.
Basically, any American who invented anything could still have come from
That's
Great Britain.
right.
Yeah,
Jolly
especially at that
good.
time.
English people come from England, and
for a
England
while,
is part of
people
the
in
United
America were
Kingdom
still
of Great
English.
Britain. Now, let's see how good you
Yeah.
are at geography.
Up until the Civil War, which it
Great
was
Britain
around then, it
is
was basically
located on
red coats,
which
blue coats. It was
continent?
England versus America, in short.
That wasn't the Civil War.
Oh, Independence War.
Yeah, Civil War was states versus states.
Look, I come from Britain. We have a lot less wars than you. We've had like 2 major ones in the last 1,000 years. So, sort yourselves out.
I mean, but yours were also way longer. This isn't accurate now.
No, Great Britain is still located in the European continent. They're just not in the European Union.
Right. Oh, Great Britain is in Europe, the second smallest
The European
continent
Union,
on Earth.
well, the continent of Europe is the same as
What
continent North
country
America,
is
continent of
located
Asia.
in the
The
very
European
center
Union
of
was
the
a collective
continent
of
Europe?
countries that banded together to partially support each other and pay back to this thing. Basically, like the way the United Kingdom is a group of countries, the European Union was the same, but for all of Europe.
I'm going to
But not,
guess.
well, not every country, but still.
I'm gonna guess Poland for this one.
Yeah, you're about right there, yeah.
Correct. Yes. Poland is a large country in the center of Europe. Polish people make
'Cause Great
delicious
Britain is,
pork
like,
sausages and
extreme
dance to the
west,
style of
and
music
France is
called
south.
polka. Poland's also the place where
But it's
the
not.
solar
No, it's
system was
it's
first
east of Great
discovered.
Britain.
Thanks,
Southeast.
Monty. We now know that
East.
the solar system
That's right,
was
I'm thinking of
discovered in
Spain.
Poland. What we don't know
Yes,
is
Spain is
when
south.
it was discovered and by whom.
And like Portugal then is the most westerly point.
The third clue is a dollar bill. It will tell you
One.
when in history the solar system was discovered. If you had $1 million
We need that dollar bill.
you'd be a millionaire. The first kid ever to earn $1 million
And the stamp.
was a famous movie star
And the other
named
two.
Shirley Temple. The dollar gets its name from a coin once used in a European country, known for its mountains, castles,
Germany.
beer, and frankfurters. Which country was that? Wunderbar.
Oh,
Thing is,
yeah.
if they
In
put
Germany,
the other two
the
aren't
Great
in
Britain in
Europe.
there,
dollar was made out of a precious metal.
Russia technically
Precious
is.
metals are metals
A
that
third
are
of it
not
is
commonly
European.
found on Earth.
Yeah, but Russia as a
Which
whole
of
is
the
considered
following
Asian,
metals is a precious
like
metal?
in the Asia continent.
In fairness, these days, steel and tin are also precious metals.
Yeah.
That's right. Silver is a
Tin,
valuable precious
or not
metal
tin.
that
Silver
is
less
often
so,
used for making
because you can make,
coins.
or not silver, steel less so because it's
Silver
just
was first used to make
iron,
the
and there's
German
tons of
dollar
iron.
500 years
It
ago.
depends on the
Which is
steel.
earliest
Like, if
year
you get
could have used a German dollar to
Welsh
buy a
steel,
frankfurter.
proper good Welsh steel, that stuff is stronger than titanium in some aspects.
Silver was first used to make German dollar 500 years ago, which is the earliest year you could have used. Okay, so this would have been 1999 or 1996. 500 years earlier was 1400s.
Nope.
What?
Try again.
That'd be 1531.
That's right. In 1531, the silver coin called the
1431
dollar
plus
could have
500 is
bought you
1931.
Frankfurters. 1531 also
It'd be
happens
more
to
recent
the year
than
when the
500
solar
years.
system
Yeah.
was discovered.
We're almost there.
Yeah, that would have been like 40 some years after making the silver dollar.
This is your fourth and final clue. The sundial will tell you who first discovered the solar system. A sundial tells the time as a shadow moves across a surface marked with the hours of the day. The Egyptians invented the sundial 5,000 years ago, and it was one of the earliest ways of measuring time. A sundial works due to the movement of what heavenly body?
Earth.
You are correct.
Sun don't
Even
move.
though the sun creates the shadow that moves across a sundial,
I mean, we were on about
it's really
the
Earth
universe
that's
revolving
moving,
about
not the
people at
sun.
one point, and I mean, I do have a heavenly
While
body.
the Earth spins, it also moves around the sun. What is the Earth's movement around the sun called?
Orbit. And then a
Revolution.
revolution.
That's right. The Earth revolves around the sun. It takes 1 year to make one revolution. Who discovered that the Earth revolves around the sun?
Is that Galileo?
Copernicus, I think.
Right, you are. Copernicus was the Polish astronomer who discovered the solar system in 1531. Before his discovery, people thought that everything revolved around the Earth.
Okie dokie.
Those
No,
Galileo
Edison didn't
things.
really discover anything, he just copied
Onto the
everything.
time machine.
Huh?
We've got to go to Poland in
Edison.
1531 before
Yeah.
Polly messes
'Cause
up
I'm-
Didn't discover,
Copernicus's
just copied.
discovery.
Because I remember stories of like Galileo being put in prison because he said the Earth revolved around the sun.
Before we take this trip back in time, can I just tell you how amazing
Galileo
you are?
was an astronomer,
That's it.
whereas
Grab
Copernicus,
the
I think, was a
time key and let's move out.
philosopher for the most part. But like,
Oh, did they specify a philosopher?
oh, just the Greeks, man. They just
Everyone was a philosopher.
yeah, everything. Everyone these days is a damn philosopher still.
Wow, never thought I'd see the inside of this thing. Pretty cool, huh? The professor made it clear this time machine was off limits to anyone but him. But with Polly about to send the world out of control, I think the professor would understand. Looks pretty complicated, huh? But let's see if we can figure out how this baby works. That looks like our window into the past. Look, all the information you found at the wheel is now neatly in place up there. I guess the time key did that. This lever looks important. Click on me if you think I should pull it. Maybe it'll start things up. Next stop, Poland, to visit the great scientist Copernicus. He's about to discover that the sun is the center of the solar system.
Welcome back.
There's
Welcome back.
Copernicus on the brink of making his great discovery. But look, Polly has reprogrammed the Russian robot Cosmobot to paint her picture on the model of the sun. Nyet, Cosmobot, nyet!
That's not Polish.
Thanks to Cosmobot, Copernicus has
In
decided
fairness,
that
back in
the Earth
1531,
revolves around
it
Polly.
pretty much was, because it
And
was
we
Russian.
thought she had a swell
Okay.
head before. Hit the recall button. It's our only chance.
Because it wasn't Poland back then.
I was part of the
Wow, we
Russian
did
Empire.
it. Cosmobot's back home and
Yeah.
the cosmos is back in order. Now hold on while I steer this.
I'm not sure
contraption
when it became part of it, but I know it ended at the end of the fall of the Soviet Union.
back. Phew, we made it back. Always a good sign. Press the back button on the utility belt to leave the time machine. We need to put this robot to rest. This is where the professor stores all his time-traveling robots. I call it the Robot Roost. Believe you me, these guys have been around the block a few times. The problem is, we have to get them all back from the different places and times that Polly said.
Was the animal the frog?
Right now, though, it's one down. And
We didn't
24 to
continue
go.
that minigame because we
Gotta
had
start
over
somewhere.
the
Just let me store
point
this robot
threshold.
for safekeeping.
Ah,
Now
fair.
the rest is sorely needed. Polly's sent plenty more back in time, so let's start another mission.
Okay, let's see.
Nice work, Notley. I guess my own innate intelligence has rubbed off on you. Still, this little nightmare's not over yet. Still more robots to find, more challenges to meet. Good luck. You'll need it.
Let's take a look at that transquizzer and select another mission. Click on the inventory.
Trying to find where.
What you looking for?
I was trying to look through Poland's history to see when it was overtaken by Russia.
There's plenty of cool things to do on this floor, but unless we're on a mission, it all seems pretty pointless to me. Click on the inventory to start a mission. Alright, we still got places to go and robots to rescue. Click on any of the buttons near the bottom of the transquizzer.
During the ancient Olympic Games, all wars would come to a stop and a truce would be called for 3 months. That gave the soldiers enough time to travel to the games, compete, and then return home to continue fighting. What did athletes at the ancient Olympics get for winning?
A prize that would make anyone run faster and jump higher. A bouquet of flowers and a diamond tiara. Here I am, Miss Olympic Games.
Yes, that's absolutely right, Polly. The winners at the first Olympics were treated like beauty queens.
Oh no! Polly's gone too far this time. If she gets her way, the strong and brave ancient Olympians will be treated like beauty queens. You can't run a marathon in high heels. Well, not very well, at least.
I actually don't see a problem with this one.
Click on the inventory button to put away the transquizzer.
I would happily take a diamond tiara.
I think it's
Let's
fine.
spoil sport, Snootly. But if you want to try to ruin my fun, first you'll have to find 4 clues. A pigeon, a torch, 2 masks, and a piece of pottery. I sent Rhonda Robot back in time. She's the reigning robot beauty queen.
Around the time of Copernicus, he was Kingdom of Poland, and then he went to Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, so I was wrong, he was Poland before Russia took him.
Now that's talent. We better work extra hard to rescue Rhonda from Polly's wicked ways, and save the Olympics while we're at it. Careful now, I'm gonna sense around here. No doubt about it, there's a clue in the robot maze.
I think the solar system is one of the least used games.
We're back at the maze again. See the box down there? Maybe Polly has put something in there again.
You're so right, Botley. And this time it's not going to be easy. Maybe you and your little friend should just give up now and go play with some of my old baby toys.
South 3, West 3, North 3, West 4.
So that.
West 4 next, then South 7. I should be out.
Gotta do it on hard.
We're back at the maze again. See the box down
Yeah, here's
there?
the bully.
Oh, you have to do that for
Polly's
every
put something
time.
in there again.
You're so right, Botley.
Okay, there's jump
and
west.
this time it's not going to be
1,
easy.
2.
Maybe you and your little friend should just
I'm
give
gonna do
up.
South 3 and jump west. Jump west. Then I gotta do jump south.
Shouldn't it be jump south, jump west, West 3,
Oh yeah, you're right.
South 3,
Jump right, jump south, jump west.
Southwest, jump south, west? Yeah, should work.
Yeah.
Great work! The robot reached its destination, and we have our object. Who's laughing now, Polly? Great! Take the clue and put it in your inventory. We need to check out another floor for... Quiet now. I'm gonna sense out this area. Great. I've got a strong reading in the shrinking machine. Look, we're at the Shrink-O-Matic again.
Just let me know if you need any information about my darling specimens.
Got carbon 12 up here. A
There
helium.
is a mission clue hidden inside one
Helium
of the
3.
specimens, Dotley, and it's your mission to figure out which one. So, here's your hint. Which specimen is the hardest thing known to
Bet you this
humans?
one's quartz.
Don't say Egbert's head. That's
It'd be
no
carbon
hint.
12 for the hardest thing, wouldn't it?
I'll
Was it
have
diamond?
You know that
Diamond.
I'm made from the highest grade aluminum
Because diamond's like
alloy.
carbon compressed. So did she say we need to find the hardest thing?
Yeah.
Diamond.
Hardest thing on Earth.
Diamonds are
You think that's the right...
bon voyage, Botley. That's French, you know.
Oh my! You're pretty good at this, so let's get this...
The way that cut then, it's genuinely sound like, oh, you're pretty good at this. Let's get this shit on the road.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Ow! Right on the funny bone.
Now that's a modding project I'd love to be a part of.
What?
Taking classic kid-friendly games and just getting the original voice actors to redo the lines so they just fill it with profanity.
That'd be pretty fun.
So instead of a game, it just goes, ouch! That hurt! Try and avoid them next time. It goes, fuck! Stop that, you prick!
Ow! Watch your aim.
It's bouncing around the screen. Shit! Fuck! Fuck! Shit! Ah! Fuck! Had a good beat going then for a moment.
We found it! Just pick up the clue and add it to the inventory. I think we should go to another floor.
That actually sounds
Keep still
like
while I sense around for
that
clues.
looks fun.
Hey, we're in luck! I'm sensing a mission clue in the painting gallery.
I think I'd
Go.
actually watch MLP if it was filled with profanity.
I remember the good old days with the professor and all his artist friends. Now just us and Polly.
Okay, Clotley. If you want the mission clue I hid
Clotley.
here, either you or your friend better paint me a picture. You think you can manage this?
In the woods, the frogs held a contest to see who could jump the highest. They just jumped up and down over and over again. Some jumped up high while others weren't so good.
Oh god, it's back again. I guess do another one higher.
Yeah.
Oh god!
He's entering the protein dimension.
I'm not even sure if that's the protein dimension. he's had his pre-shake and that's all he's had. He's had 20 of them.
Good work! It seems you got the painting right. Grab the clue and put it in the inventory. Then let's move on. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hid a mission clue in the professor's virtual collection. That's in the art gallery. Feel like browsing through the virtual collection? Just click on the machine. Or go to the gallery in the back if you feel like creating your own look.
Just make sure you leave everything the way you find it. Not like Paulie, always creating a mess.
Check out the virtual collection. I sent...
Okay, Botley and Company. There is a clue in the virtual collection. You just have to figure out where.
Would it be too much to ask you for a little hand, Polly?
Quick, Snotley. What U.S. state is famous for its peaches?
Georgia.
Peaches from Georgia are famous all around the world. And Georgia happens to be the first name of an artist whose portrait I love. Let's go.
This is a device that Professor Spark invented to display all the great works of art he knows and loves, without actually having to fork over the big bucks to buy them himself. It's all done with computers. What else? Luckily, that makes it easier to find the mission clue that Polly hid here. First, you need to select the work of art that
So they
matches
predicted
Polly's
digital,
See that drum on the right side of the machine?
digital gallery
Photo frames.
Displays tiny pictures of all the works
Not even
in
that,
the
just
collection.
digital photo
If you
frames.
click on any of the pictures,
That too.
Mrs. Beasley will tell you a little bit about it and help you decide if it's the work you want to see. After Mrs. Beasley is finished, you can
What do you
click
want
on
about
it again
people
to see
at
the
Knowledge
work on
Adventure
the
went, oh
professor's
shit,
digital
we
display.
figured it out.
Fortunately, Mrs. Beasley has also neatly arranged all the
Probably.
works of art into categories. She's really kind of a neat freak. If the work you want isn't on the
I'd have a
display,
message appended to
pull
each one
this
going,
lever
"You're
to check out
welcome."
a different category.
You're looking for a portrait
It's like
of
everything
an artist
that
named
Star Trek
Georgia.
discovered.
Mrs. Beasley, can you remind my friend about which of the professor's works
Like
of art
cell
we're looking
phones.
for? So you should begin by
What's
selecting the correct
tablets
category.
mainly?
But be careful
Yep.
which work you send to the digital display, because
Well,
each
the
time
communicator
you do, it will
badge
use up some of
is
the
like cell
energy that's
phones.
vital to running things around here.
True.
Of course, if we get low, we can
Well, if
always
anything,
run
like
down
I'd
to
say
the
more like
electric
Bluetooth
generator
headset
and
kind of
juice
level.
out.
Also,
Like
LeVar, LeVar
early 2000s
Burton's,
type Bluetooth headset.
yeah, and LeVar Burton's headset is like helping colorblind people see.
Yeah,
like
heterochromia
see-
glasses.
Huh?
Heterochromia glasses.
Polly hid the mission clue in a painting, so we have to
This still life with apples was painted by Cezanne. This is a
Cezanne.
still life of a plate of fish. Nothing strange there. But isn't it odd how the plate seems to float in the air? This is a Dutch still life. 300 years ago, the painters in Holland perfected the art of realistically painting flowers.
There's Alexander the Great.
This mosaic of Alexander the Great was made by gluing pieces of tile onto the floor. This is an example of a typical American quilt. Quilts were often made by groups of women in quilting bees. This piece of decorated pottery is called porcelain. Porcelain was first invented in China. This Native American totem pole has symbolic meaning. Can you crack the code? This is the Statue of Liberty. It was sculpted tall so that people coming to New York City would be reminded of the freedom America promises her people. You can tell just by his pose that the man in this sculpture is thinking. In this religious painting, God is depicted as an old man who reaches down from heaven to create the first man named Adam. Combine small pieces of colored glass into a design, and you get a stained glass window like this one. Shiva is one of the most important gods in the religion known as Hinduism. Here, Shiva is doing a cosmic dance. This is a portrait of the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. Her paintings
the
are
one.
beautiful and so... Over time, photographs have become the most popular way of capturing a person's portrait.
The
This
dithering makes it look
portrait
like
is
an
a
oil
photograph
painting.
of one
Yeah.
of America's most important artists, Georgia O'Keeffe, standing in front of one of her beautiful paintings. Did you notice the regal profile of her face? Georgia O'Keeffe moved to New Mexico and began painting mysterious images of the desert landscape around her.
Hey, that was a lucky guess. And according to Polly's Book of Rules, which was written by yours truly, lucky guesses don't count. So there. No, you'll have to work a lot harder than that to win.
That's not fair, Polly. If that's the way...
Getting silenced.
Okay, so we have to... Oh, fuck. What was this one?
To solve this puzzle, just line up the tiles so all their sides match. Click on any puzzle piece to lift it off the display. Then click on any other piece and they'll change places.
Guess best way is to work outside in.
I guess so. So this one... No. Those two. No, that didn't work. That didn't work there. So I'm pretty confident I have the right side done. Should all the pictures line up. You also get Ivory Coast, Basket Weaving, Nile River.
The one above that.
Which one?
Rhythm Dugout. Yeah, that one, down and right. Diagonal bottom right. The one, go down.
Okay, I'll get it.
And right. Diagonal. It'll be a dugout canoe.
Say again.
Move that piece diagonally down right. That's down left.
Fuck.
Then 2 to the right then. You just need to rotate to match the blue up then. And I'm guessing, yeah, that one. No, I would have thought it was middle left and that one.
It's this one.
Yeah.
But I actually need to be right back. We'll continue this in a sec. Where's my BRB? There it is.
BRB is just a wasp with a chill. It's the brb. Haha, Bigo brr. I'm sorry, not a more involved chat, but like, I'm not a streamer. I know nothing about streaming. All I know is I shouldn't say certain things. So, how's everybody's Wednesday night / Thursday morning going? By everybody, I don't even know how many people are watching at this point. I'm that good. That's the best way to distract yourself. Actually, is a cute shark. I only know one shark that's cuter than Nexi, and that's Blahaj, and Blahaj is lying over in my bed, and Blahaj is goddamn adorable. You can't change my mind. Blahaj is absolutely best shark. Oh, someone is messaging my Discord over and over again. Who and why? How dare thee? Oh God. Oh, great, someone are trying to sell feet pics in a game forum. And they would get banned if the game knew for trading in-game currency for out-of-game currency. So, it's good to see that that game hasn't gone to shit. It's definitely gone to shits. Oh my God, how, just... You want me to mute the server? I'll goddamn mute the server. shut up about it now. God, what is it about feet pics? I just don't understand that. I like selling them for a start, especially if you're like, oh, do you want to buy my feet pics? And like, no. Also, I don't even know what you look like. Like, I'm not kink shaming, I just absolutely have no idea. Why am I even talking about this on Twitch? Lexi, get back and bring some decent conversation with you, because I don't know what I'm doing. Don't have pity on me, I don't need your pity. I mean, I do, but that's... no. One day I'll be able to figure it out. Probably be the day I die. And I'm like, either 40 odd or 70 odd, I haven't decided yet. You know how life is, just sudden things. Do you know if the Ali A intro has got copyright on it? Because I'd love to play that at full volume right now. It's just loud and obnoxious enough to be to the point where it's probably copyrighted. It's the big sads. Everything is copyrighted these days. I mean, let's just experiment. YouTube music, no copyright. Really help if I knew the names of some of the no copyright music that actually happens from YouTubers, but oh well. I'm not even going to bother trying to attempt to sing it because no doubt it'll get copyright striked because just that's what everything does at this point. Although I'd butcher it while doing that anyway, I'm tone deaf. I think I finally figured out how to stream when you're on your own. You just run your internal monologue and your thoughts out loud. It's probably a very dangerous idea for me, in fairness. Yeah, that's not a good idea for me. Oh, I see the mouse moving. Is there life? Hey, welcome back. Yeah, I've slowly been going insane just talking to myself. Well, and Meth.
Yeah, I had to put away a few dishes and go to the bathroom, so yeah. So while I'm on BRB, I lock my computer. Do you see anything when I do that?
The kilobyte a second counter disappears. Well, it goes transparent to wherever's underneath it. Apart from that, it just freezes. It keeps playing the animations and stuff, but it freezes it on the BRB screen.
Okay. So we are on painting.
Rock painting?
Could be rock painting.
I think it's rock paint with the way things lined up.
Yeah, because that goes under this. So these two rows are done. Which makes this infinitely easier.
I like the contrast that right now you're playing a 90s puzzle game and I'm playing Forza. I just need to get ranked in before the end of the season, and I'm failing dramatically. Oh, I definitely suck at A-class.
Great job! Now, we've got everything we need to complete this mission. And since time is of the utmost importance, let's get to... We should go to the... We've got everything we need. Time to finish up another mission. Click the on button to start the wheel.
Welcome once again to the game show where history's on TV and Polly's got the clicker. In this exciting episode, we'll search for lovely Rhonda Robot back in time. Your first clue is a cute pigeon, and it will lead you to what this mission is all about. Pigeons have invented a special way of drinking water. Most birds drink by scooping up water with their beaks. The pigeon uses its beak like a straw. It's the only bird in the world that actually sucks up water. Pigeons are in the same bird family as which other bird?
Doves.
Right! In fact, pigeons and doves are two names for the same exact bird. Like some other birds, doves have a special symbolic meaning for people. The American bald eagle, for example, stands for freedom. The dove is the universal symbol of what?
Peace.
Yeah.
Good job! Ho-ho! For thousands of years, the dove has stood for peace. It is a symbol of international cooperation among countries choosing peace over war. What sports event is played to promote peace?
That would be the Olympics.
Gold medal answer. The Olympics are played by people throughout
I mean, why
the
can't it be
world
Call of
to
Duty?
encourage
That esport
peace.
could be peace.
That's why doves
Because the guy
are released
was able to
at the
speedrun
opening
racism, so it's not really
ceremonies of the
peace.
Olympics, because they symbolize peace.
I mean,
Rhonda Robot to the Olympics.
it's a good video though. This goes into a lobby. I'm black. Under half a second.
Making fire was a huge step for mankind. Here was an awesome form of energy that was finally in our power. No wonder that fire has taken on so much meaning and importance for people. Even the Olympic Games open with a spectacular celebration of fire. How does the Olympic torch get into the Olympic Stadium?
A runner.
That's right! Ho-ho! Runners carry the torch around the globe and into the Olympic Stadium where the Olympic flame is lit. The runners represent the countries competing in the Olympics. Runners from countries all over the world train to compete in the Olympics. Approximately how many countries compete in the modern Olympics?
At the time, I believe it was 120.
120 sounds about right.
Because there aren't even 200 countries today, and 70 sounds like not enough.
Yeah.
Right! About 120
And
countries
today it's like
participate
180
in
something.
the Olympics, including the country hosting the games. The Olympic torch is always lit in which of those 120 countries?
Greece?
Greece.
Yes! The Olympic torch is always lit in Greece because the first Olympics were played in ancient Greece. The torch symbolizes the constant renewal of the Olympic spirit.
Pack your bags. Looks like we have to go to Greece. to
Constant
find
renewal of the
Rhonda
Olympic
Robot.
spirit, or constant
Olympics.
renewal of the flame every time it goes out?
Yeah.
I swear the torches are being
Masks
getting worse
are your
year on
next
year.
clue. They will lead you to who invented the Olympics. These masks represent two types of plays.
Well, I know it was
invented for the
inspired
theater.
by a
Graphic
person
mask
running from
represents plays that
where
are
they were
comedies.
fighting to
Comedies
Athens.
have funny jokes and happy endings. The mask with the sad face represents what kind of plays?
Tragedy.
That's right. Ho-ho.
I mean, if it was me on the stage, it would still be comedy.
Happy endings. If you were going to write a play, you'd have to decide whether you wanted to write a comedy, a tragedy, or a mixture of the two. If you wrote a tragedy for the theater, what would people call you?
A comedian.
Yup. Dramatists have been writing plays for a long time. The world's first dramatists wrote plays in honor of a god called Dionysus.
Pretty sure these days a dramatist is just
Who were
someone who writes for the
world's first
newspaper.
Dramatists?
It'd be the Greeks, wouldn't it?
Greeks. Be the
Great
Greeks.
job! Ho-ho! The ancient Greeks invented drama as we know it today. For the Greeks, drama was a religious festival. The ancient Greeks had another religious festival. they called it the Olympics.
Perfect. Now we know who invented the Olympics.
I'm gonna guess
Ronda Robot, we're coming your
1500 BCE. Hey, Kira.
All right, the final clue is pottery, and it will tell you when the Olympics were first held. Heating clay dug from the ground transforms gooey wet mud into hard, waterproof, long-lasting pottery. People in the Middle East made the first pots and plates out of pottery 9,000 years ago. What's another name for pottery in general?
Ceramics? Yes.
That's right. Ho-ho. Many ancient pots and plates have been found.
In fairness, all
because
three could
ceramics
really
are hard
go
and
there.
last a
Yeah.
long time.
Because tiles can be
Scholars
ceramic.
dig up ancient ceramics to
Porcelain,
find
I think, is
clues
just another
about
name for
ancient
ceramic,
life.
or a type of
I'm
ceramic.
pretty sure it
What
is.
do you call the study of ancient ceramics and other objects?
Archaeology? Paleontology? Yeah, archaeology.
Yeah.
That's right. Archaeologists study ancient human societies by looking at the things they made. An archaeologist would most likely study a society from what year? That's right. Ho-ho! And 776 BC was the date of the very first Olympic
I was about
Games,
800 years off.
which began as a religious festival.
Which on the scale of things, not that bad.
We know about the first Olympics thanks to archaeologists.
Yeah, 2010.
who dug up the ancient
I
stadium
knew
in
there was
Olympia,
sevens in
Greece.
it. I was thinking 1700, not 700. But I think I was only thinking that because you said 1500.
Yeah, I said 1500 BC. Which this is before they added the E.
Oh yeah, this is even more further.
Get set for a trip to ancient Greece. We've got front row seats for the very first Olympic
Yeah,
Games.
the game does consider 2010 feature because it was made in 1995.
Yay! It's the world's first
By that
Olympic
year, they
woman.
probably thought they'd actually be time machines.
Ooh, it's Rhonda, the beauty queen robot. Look,
Maybe they thought that in the
it's
70s and
the
80s,
talent
but not in the
competition.
90s.
There's no mistaking Polly for Miss Congeniality. That poor athlete isn't getting
Now,
a
honestly,
gold wreath.
the ceremony
It's a diamond
overall,
tiara and a bouquet of flowers.
it doesn't even look that far
Hit
off.
the recall button before the evening wear competition begins.
Just like instead of tiara, they would do like what that the crown of vine
Oh, of all
thing.
the times to freeze on me, we're
Yeah.
so close. Just hit the recall button. Much better. You've saved the Olympics from becoming a beauty pageant. Imagine.
Because like there would still be flowers. There'd be some kind of ornamentation on the person,
Take us home.
and they'd be on the stage.
Yeah?
Ah, there's no place like home. Press the back button on the utility belt to leave the time machine. We need to put this robot to rest. Hey, things are looking up here. We've added another robot to the roost. Can you say sweet dreams?
Oh, Blotley, you're such a party pooper. Well, just because you got lucky that time doesn't mean that I have to start worrying. There are still more to come.
All right, we still got places to go and robots
Sweet
to rescue.
dreams are
Click on the inventory to start a mission.
Who am I?
Who am I to disagree? Shatter the world in the
No time
seven
to pat ourselves on
seas.
the back. Select another question so we can
looking
save
for
another
Looking
robot.
for Gouda. Come on, you don't want to sing the official lyrics. It's too close to the
Click
real
on the
song.
yellow start
We'll get
button if you
copyright
wanna hear
strikes.
this question.
Baseball games usually take 2.5 hours, but only 8 minutes of that time is action. That's a lot of waiting around. It's no wonder that basketball
Genuinely
not
sounds like
baseball,
American football
is
with
watched
extra
by more
steps.
people in America than any other sport. Baseball was invented in the summer. Why do you think basketball was invented during the winter?
'Cause it's cold.
This is an easy one, Miss Winkle. Basketball was invented in winter to give snowmen something to play. I mean, think about it. Whose life is more boring than a snowman's? All they do is stand around waiting to melt.
Well, Polly, you slam dunked that one. Basketball was indeed invented as a winter sport for snowmen. And believe you me, 7-foot snowmen are extremely grateful to have something to do besides stand around in the cold.
Snowmen playing basketball? You
It's
can't
more
bring
likely than you
snowmen
think.
Inside. They'll melt all over the court. We better do something quick. The lives of millions of snowmen depend on us.
Would actually make the
Click
game
on
more
the
interesting to
inventory button
watch.
to put
It
away
would.
The transquisite.
Just dunk a ball too hard and it accidentally goes through Bob, goes straight through his head and it bounces off the floor.
Calm down, Shockley. So what if I sent Danny DeFrostbot back in time?
Danny
He'll
the
heat things
Frostbot?
up a bit. Now, if you have a problem with that, you'll have to find these 4 clues. A handkerchief, a blue ox, a fish, and a whistle. Smokin'.
When did the mask
Danny
come out?
DeFrostbot. He was always a bit hot
No idea.
under the collar, but I can't believe he's willing to melt the world's snowmen. Polly's reprogrammed him, I'm sure of it. Let's find those clues. We have to get Danny back.
1994.
Hey, I'll need some silence while I try to sense this area out. No doubt about it, there's a clue in the robot maze.
Because of course there is.
I mean, it's always in the robot maze.
We're back at the maze again. See the box down there? Maybe Polly has put something in there again.
West 7, South 7. Boom, done.
You're so right, Botley.
As long
And
as you don't
this
get the
time
other
it's not gonna
bodyguard
be
bot
easy.
things.
Maybe you and your little friend should just give up now and go play with some of my old baby toys.
Oh, someday. Don't listen to her. I know you can do it. Remember, we have to program the robot to reach the box.
You only have 6 souths.
Yeah. So at some point... And jumping is only across 1 square.
You got no jumps.
Yeah. Should be West 3, West 2, West 1, or West 2? No. Because then, yeah, we only have 6 souths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In West Philadelphia.
How do you go south without going south?
Hmm?
How do you go south without going south?
Well, one way is to go here, down, and it teleports us down here.
That's probably what it wants you to do.
But that would use up some of our wests, and we gotta come back east, and then do more west. So like it'd be 4 west, 1 south. We don't have a 2 east.
Is this one broken?
This one might be uncompletable. Yeah, because if we do this... I wish there was a fast forward. Oh.
Wait,
Oh, too
What?
bad. Poor guy. He's either really brave or really
do you not teleport
stupid.
pad to pad then?
Now you can arrange the commands in a different order and run the program again.
Do you want it run twice?
No, just I'll have
Okay. So I guess this stuff's right.
Put another south one, and then all the wests.
Actually, I went from here to here, so south 1, and then 5 west. Well, 4 west.
Do you have to? Do you have to go west 3?
Oh, too bad. Poor guy.
I might be able
Either
to
real
delete
brave
these
or
3.
Really stupid. Now you can arrange.
Nope.
Is it south 4, west 2, and go that way instead?
Might need to start with south 3, then north 3.
Got to get rid of the east as well at some point, so I'm thinking go south first, then west.
Actually, instead of these, we could do west 3, east 3, west 2, west 2. It'd be south 3, north 3, west 3, east 3, west 4, south 1, south 1, then south 1 make it fall off again. Unless it wants us to go down here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it goes to that one instead.
Yeah, so south 4. Then we can go west 2. That would put us over here. Then we go west 1. North 3. No, that wouldn't work either. One, 2, 3, 4. South 4. 2 west. 1 west. 3 north. And 2 south. No, it's not that. It's not that one. Yeah, it's not working either.
Oh, too bad. Poor guy. He's either really brave or really stupid. Now you can arrange the commands in a different order and run the program again.
I'm gonna try and back out and get another sequence.
We're back at the maze again.
Same one.
See the
Yep,
box
same
down
one.
there? Maybe Polly has put something in there again.
Won't go south enough.
I also don't know where we can fix the east problem.
Or the north problem, really. Whichever way you go, you got one or the other.
Yeah.
Although typical American talking about the eastern problems. Can't really say much with Tony Blair. Chris, if you have any idea how to complete this one,
in the order you want,
that'd be
click
great.
on the run button at the bottom of the remote control. That'll turn on the robot and start it moving. Don't worry if...
I'll come back to it.
Sensors on. I'm gonna run a sweep of this floor. Great. I've got a strong reading in the shrinking machine. Here we are, back at the Shrink-O-Matic.
So, do you want to know about something?
Well, Clueless, you might as well know there's a mission clue hidden in one of the specimens. This hint should make it clear where it's hidden. This specimen moves one part of her body, and the rest of it automatically follows. Between you and me, I think Egbert has a crush on this specimen.
Worm or
He likes the way
shark?
she moves around.
I don't have time for crushes. I'm entirely too busy for such
Or
humanoid
slug.
distractions.
I'm thinking the amoeba.
You know, because amoebas move like all of their body.
Hammerhead shark. A hammerhead shark can't be found at the hardware store. It's a ferocious ocean predator.
No, it isn't.
The hammerhead shark cannot see straight forward.
Shark and
Its
babu.
eyes are located at opposite ends of its hammer-shaped head.
And it can see straight forward, but it also has a wide peripheral.
It is much funnier to think, though, about hammerhead sharks having something put on their nose and freaking the hell
They range in
out.
size from 1 inch to 11 feet. If you cut an earthworm in half, the half with the head doesn't die. It grows another tail that's as good as new.
I'd say it's the slug for this one.
Slug. A slug looks like a snail that came out of its shell. Because it lacks a shell, a slug is easy pickings by its enemies. Amoeba. Amoebas are the
Hey, I
smallest
was right.
animals in the world. The human body
Oh.
is made up of billions and billions of cells. The amoeba is so small, it only has one cell. Every time one part of the amoeba moves, the rest of the cell automatically follows.
I mean, amoebas would make a very disappointing auction if there's only one cell.
We can't. The Shrink-O-Matic's dead. We can't. The Shrink-O-Matic's dead. We've run out of power. Okay, all...
I wonder how long until someone makes a straw poll about kicking me off with bad puns.
More sharks.
Sharks? Oh, I missed it.
Here, I can actually come back in. This guy.
Shark! Was that a piranha?
You
No,
got
shark.
the head fin.
The inferior way to draw sharks. Fin goes on the back.
This is the mountain's electric generator. Pretty impressive, huh? Professor Spark
Ready to do some
invented it
quick
so that he
maths?
can produce all the electricity he needs to run the gadgets here in the mountain. And believe me, this place needs a lot of juice. It basically runs with batteries.
Yeah, Meth,
but these
amoebas
aren't
are a
like
pet.
the batteries on your flashlight at home. When used in the correct combinations, these batteries pack a big enough wallop to kick this generator into gear. See the monitors on those tubes? Each one has a specific battery requirement, so that when magnified together, the batteries are equal to the value on the monitor. The trick is to pick the right combination of two batteries. When you get all the batteries in place, the generator will produce electricity. You have to think fast, though, and work your way through both rings to get the generator going, because those batteries will run out of juice if you make them pull all the weight for too long. Okay, now you do it. Put the correct batteries in place.
Come on, damn it.
We need...
There we go.
Time to power up! Pick the right
Well.
batteries and plug them in!
There's no duplicate numbers there, so how is anything going to turn to 1? Oh, you can use the same battery twice, okay.
What is 4?
728
Yes.
is 4. 770, 10. $7.49. Quick maths!
Terrific. Now on to ring
You
number
both said it.
2.
Oh god, let me go for a smoke, you needy little bot. 777 is 11. 714, 2. 42, 7 for 6. 63 and 7 for 9. 84 and 7 for 12. 56, 7 for 8.
They really like 7 in this.
It's a 7 times table and 735.
Wow, that
Now
was
we're back up to
fast.
white.
Now hold on tight.
Maths is something I can do well.
I used to be able to do it like really fast. It's a little bit harder now because I don't do it as often.
Well, once I get my head into it,
Bingo.
it's
Now
really
back
quick,
upstairs to
but
the foil
just getting my head into it.
Bingo. I've sent. Okay. Choose. You think
Happy
I'm gonna be back.
trails.
it's a far better thing harder? Look out! definitely need an overhaul after this. I feel dizzy! That's it! Take the clue and put it in your inventory. Then, on to complete this mission. I think we should go to another floor. There are no mission clues here. Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue.
I'm back.
Okay, all sensors indicate that Polly hit a mission clue in the music hall.
Finally, music hall.
This is the door to the professor's concert hall, which he usually keeps locked so none of the less musical robots around here pound too hard on the piano.
Purple rain,
But the door doesn't
purple
open with a key.
rain.
Instead,
So how many
it uses
songs are you going to end up
password.
playing before you finish
You
the
have to
puzzle?
figure out the password by unscrambling
Well, I'm pretty
the
sure
four words on the left
these
side
are
of the door.
jumble. So this is
I'm
rain,
not so good with spelling,
wind,
but luckily we've got some help. Hey, Beethoven!
and
Hello?
steel.
Who's
Through the
there?
fire and flames.
Oh,
Oh,
Bartley, it's just you. You should have called my name instead of
it'd be
just
such a
scuffling
good
around out
children's game
there.
if it had through the fire and
Sure.
flames in it.
Okay,
20 years
listen,
before it was made.
Polly's up to no good again, and we're
Oh no,
trying to
about
stop
10
her.
years.
We're having trouble with this lock. Can you help us?
Huh? Speak up. Don't mumble.
Can you help us?
Now, Bartley, if I just gave you the answers, Polly would reboot me in a heartbeat. But if you're
Yeah,
really having
rain,
trouble
wind,
figuring out one
hate,
of the words,
steel.
click on the button next to it, and I'll see what I can do. Good luck.
Although this is level 1.
Okay. What you must do is
We haven't
unscramble the letters
adjusted
on the left
the,
side of the door to create
difficulty
4
yet.
words. You can do that by clicking on any letter, then clicking
Oh,
on
I'm
the space
not
where
at the
you want
PC
it
at
to
the
go.
moment, so I'll find out when I get
Each
up.
time you unscramble a word, you'll be rewarded with at least one letter in the password, which appears on the right side of the door. When you unscramble those letters, you figured out the password and the door should open. Easy.
Rain!
Man, you're really moving.
Wind!
Hey, way to go!
It seems you've created some kind of word, but it's not the right word. Click on the button next to the word if you need a hint.
There should be an app that lets skaters and bikers plan a public meetup and help people find cool new spots. You could call it Grinder.
It seems you've created some... It seems you've created... It seems you've... It seems you've created some kind of word, but it's not the right word. Click on the button next to the word if you need a hint. You do this to your soup before you eat it.
Blow. Blow.
Heat.
Great job! You're better at this than I am.
Wet snow.
You don't eat soup, you drink it.
Sleet.
You figured out all 4 words. Now, can you unscramble the password?
Seven-letter word.
Yeah.
EHRTEWA. Huh. Tried to spell it like theatre, but it didn't work.
Sleet. The words you
Weather?
have already unscrambled will help you solve the password.
Rain, wind, heat, weather. It's weather.
Weather.
Oh, damn it.
That is correct. The password is weather.
Hey, you got us in the door. Let's go. This is the Mountains Music Hall. This is where rehearsals are held by our award-winning all-robot chorus, headed by Maestro Trombot. Of course, thanks to Polly, half the members of the chorus are lost in time right now. Ah, to hear their sweet, dulcet tones just one more time. Maestro? Hey, Maestro!
Shh, Bartley. You'll misalign my perfect pitch sensors. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There we go.
Sorry, Maestro, but Polly's put us all in a bit of a jam and the future of civilization is at stake.
Mamma mia. If she would only practice her arias, she wouldn't have the time or the inclination to destroy the world. Music has such a civilizing influence. Although her voice, let's just say it's not music to my ears.
I heard that, Maestro. You just don't appreciate my instrument. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Well, Polly, you do have a quality.
That's right, the
Got
Valkyries, wasn't
scads
it?
and scads of quality. But what Nutley here wants is the mission clue I hid here. In order to get it, though, he'll have to play me a song. Not just any song, though. I want to hear this song. And please play it right, Dingbot. My delicate ears can't handle even one sour note. You mess up, and you get nothing. Nada. Zilch. Nuts.
You know, if you like, you can play the organ with the top row of number keys on your keyboard.
Click on the music tablet to play that tune.
There's no sharps and flats, so it's just C. It's just in C. But they start you on D. Alright.
Is there any song you know that could actually fit there?
No.
Ah.
How did she... it seems that you have your work cut out for you, dear Bartley. You see, the music is all mixed up. If you want to hear how it's supposed to sound, click on me and I'll play it for you. Then you should have little trouble rearranging those musical phrases until they're in the right order. Click on the button next to the phrase to hear the music stored on it. Then click on the phrase to move it to another slot.
If you click on the play button, you can play the entire piece as it's arranged on the music tablet. You can even change the instrument it's played with by selecting one of the instruments on this panel.
Na 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 na. Is it Mary Had a Little Lamb?
I can't remember who the subject of the song is, but no.
No, it's not.
Yankee Doodle.
That's it.
Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a donkey. Stuck his feather in his cap and he called it macaroni.
Beautiful wonderful job.
This song is called Yankee Doodle. In the old country, Italy, you know, a macaroni is a type of feather people used to wear in their hats.
No, it's not.
I bet you never knew that.
It's a pasta.
Macaroni was just like a style sense. Like it is a noodle, but it's also.
It's pasta, not a noodle.
I don't think. I think it was English.
Music to my ears. Store the mission clue in your inventory, then we can continue our mission.
But it was like to be fashionable.
All sensors indicate that
There would be
Polly hid
a
mission
macaroni.
clue in the professor's virtual collection. That's in the art gallery.
A macaroni.
Okay, you can look at some famous works of art in the virtual collection.
He's the Prime
by
Minister of
clicking on
France,
that
if I remember
machine.
right.
Or you can click on the painting
Macaroni.
gallery in the back if you want to get creative.
Just make sure you leave everything the way you find it. Not like Polly, always creating a mess.
I definitely sense that Polly has hidden one of the mission clues in the virtual collection.
Okay, Botley and Company. There is a clue in the virtual collection. You just have to figure out where.
Would it be too much to ask you for a little hand, Polly?
Quick, Snotley. What U.S. state is famous for its peaches?
Peaches
Georgia.
from Georgia
Again.
are famous all around the world. And Georgia happens to be the first name of an artist whose portrait I love. Let's
Deja
go.
vu.
Polly hid the mission clue in a painting, so we have to display the right work of art. Can you give us a clue?
You're looking for a portrait of an artist named Georgia.
Now choose the correct category, then select one of the professor's works of art to view it on the digital display.
I'm gonna scroll through to see if I can find the exact same painting. These are the exact same paintings.
This is a portrait of the artist Georgia. Over time, photographs have become the most popular way of capturing a person's portrait. This portrait is a photograph of one of America's most important artists, Georgia O'Keeffe, standing in front of one of her beautiful paintings. Did you notice the regal profile of her face? Georgia O'Keeffe moved to New Mexico and began painting mysterious images of the desert landscape around her.
No. I interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you this.
I can't believe her. Just when you think you've finished a mission, she throws another obstacle at us. No problem. You can figure this one out.
Oh, this is a beautiful puzzle, filled with things made by Native Americans. Some of my favorite pieces are here.
So I'm looking for something that goes with tomahawk. So we have painting, doll, sitting bull, totem, sand, palomino, house, kachina, hatchet, pole, horse,
Hatchet,
and
tomahawk?
smoke. Huh?
Hatchet and tomahawk?
Probably.
Like axes?
That would mean this one needs changed. To be a healing ceremony. And do that. Okay.
Totem pole top right with... yeah. Great Plain Buffalo as well works.
Yeah, Great Plains Buffalo, that has to work because that's smoke signal.
Yeah.
Silver bracelet.
Top right to top left. Don't even need to turn in or anything.
Yeah.
And then second one across is right as well. Third on the top row to the second on the middle row. Rotate it. No.
But
No, rotate the one to the left of it. Not that one. That one, rotate.
But this doesn't match up.
No, middle right goes up and left one.
Here we go.
Now grab the clue and we're out of here. No mission clues here. Let's try another floor. Let's move on. There's no mission clue here. Huh.
I'm gonna change the difficulty on this just to get it done with.
That's fair.
We're back at the maze again. See the box down there? Maybe Polly has put something in there again.
You're so right, Botley. And this time it's not gonna be easy. Maybe you and your little friend should just give up now and go play with some of my old baby toys.
There's no north.
Oh, someday. Don't listen to
Oh,
her. I know
never mind.
you
We
can
don't
do
need it.
Remember, we have to program the robot to reach the box.
So we need south 4. Bridge south. Assuming it puts us in the right place. There's no east. There's no east either.
You can always go run it and see where the teleporter takes you.
Yeah. Okay.
See if you can figure out where you went wrong. Change the program, then try running it again.
Okay, so it'd be south 4, jump west, west 2, bridge, or south 2, bridge, south 3.
Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn around.
Fantastic! The robot made it through the maze. You are some slick programmer.
This ain't programming.
Take the clue and put it in. We've got everything we need.
It kind of
Take a
is. It's
breath
the
and
very,
click on
very
the time
early
machine door
programming.
back there.
You give commands to a robot and the robot follows them. It's puzzle programming.
Ready for another spin of the wheel? Just click on the on button.
Hey, kids, do you know what time it is? It's time once again for Pollywood Squares. Win this round, and we'll send you on an all-expense-paid round-trip holiday to rescue Danny D. Frostbot from history. Your first clue is a handkerchief. The handkerchief will lead you to the subject of your first mission. In ancient Rome, a losing gladiator could ask the spectators to spare his life. If the spectators waved their handkerchiefs, his life was spared. Where in ancient Rome did the gladiators
Colosseum.
fight?
An arena.
Oh, arena.
The arenas in Roman amphitheaters
The Colosseum is just
were the
the
place
big
where
one.
gladiators risked their lives for the sweet smell of victory. In an arena, spectators sit in a circle or oval all the way around the playing area. Which sport could you watch in an arena today?
Oh, I know this one. Tigers and Christians.
I mean, water skiing and baseball if you try hard enough as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely tennis, though.
Perfectamundo. Tennis
But at the
started
time
in
it was
ancient
Lions and
France
Christians.
as handball. Tennis
To be honest, it
is
sounds like a
played on
good game,
rectangular
good sport we
court.
should bring back for these
What
days.
other sport is played on a court?
Just swap out the Lions every now and again. You know, keep it interesting. Maybe get some Ligers in there.
Which other sports play on a court? Basketball court.
Slam dunk time out. You found what this mission is
I
all
mean, being a
about.
professional lawyer is practically a sport at this point.
Yeah, basically.
So, Polly said
Especially with all the hoops you have to jump through for your dumbass clients.
Basketball.
God, yeah.
Keep going, you're doing great.
Oh, yeah. Don't admit to anything, plead innocence, and shut up, let me do the talking.
Your second
Your Honor,
clue
I did
is
not
a
kill
blue
that woman,
ox.
I just stabbed her and
The
ran
blue
away. Oh,
ox
shit, for
will
God's
show you
sake.
where your mission will take you.
It's like, alright,
In
you're
a
looking at a
famous
minimum
tall
assault
tale,
charge with a deadly
a
weapon.
blue ox named Babe is the companion
But I didn't
of a
do it.
lumberjack named
You just
Paul
admitted to
You
it.
said you just did. Yeah.
What was the most distinguishing feature of Paul Bunyan and his blue ox, Babe?
Being huge.
Exactly.
That's a huge bitch.
Legend has it that Paul Bunyan and Babe were so big they dug the Grand Canyon.
Do you know they named a snack after Paul Bunyan?
Are things that are bigger than normal.
Which one?
Which giant tree
Bunyan rings.
is the largest living thing on Earth?
I'm gonna go with blue spruce.
No,
What?
it's big, but not a giant.
Sequoia.
Going. There's a good reason why the giant sequoia is giant. Some of them have been growing for 4,000 years. The giant
I know the oldest
sequoia
tree
grows in only
that was
one country on
found
Earth.
was cut down
Which
accidentally.
country is that?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. That is China
What was that question?
or Brazil. Giant sequoia grows in only one country on Earth. It's either Brazil or China.
That's Brazil.
Sorry, kiddo.
Oh, must be China then.
US.
Fabulous. The United States
Oh.
is the home of the giant sequoia.
I didn't know that.
And also the birthplace of basketball.
And I thought I knew my woods.
Basketball's the only major sport
Hey.
that was invented
No, I thought it was
in
American.
America.
I just didn't think it was
I
North
know
American.
that. Let's keep going and find Danny DeFrostbot. The invention of basketball, of all things, is in jeopardy.
We can do without basketball though. It's kind of a dumb
Third
sport.
clue is a fish. The fish will show you when in
That's
history
just football
you
without
need
feet.
to go. Unlike animals on
Soccer,
land,
as you'd call it.
fish never stop growing. The older they get, the bigger they get. What do you call a collection of fish
School.
that live together? A whale of an answer. Fish form schools because it's safer to hang out in groups than to live alone.
A group
How
of
do you
bunnies is
catch
called a fluffle.
school of fish?
It is. Group of crows is called a
Talk
murder.
about school spirit.
But a group
But
of
it's far
ravens
easier
is
to
called an
catch a school of
unkindness.
fish in nets than to hook them with fishing rods one by one. But nets are not only used
Did
for
you know
fishing,
that an alpaca giving birth is called an unpacking?
Nets open at the bottom were first
That's
used by
amazing.
basketball players in 1912.
I love that. That is
20 years
amazing.
After basketball was invented. When was basketball invented?
Fuck.
1893. It's 1912, take away 21.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
No. 21.
Swish!
Yeah, I did
Basketball
it.
was
For some reason I
invented
did
in
19, not 21.
1891. It took over 2 decades for today's basketball nets to be invented. The very first game was played with peach baskets instead of nets.
Swish, you did it again. All we need is the name of the American who invented
A group of
basketball in
orangutans
1891.
is called a congress. No, baboons is a congress.
Your fourth clue is a whistle. It will lead you to who you need to find on your
I think it's the other way around. A
mission.
congress
When you
is a
blow
group of
into a
baboons.
whistle,
That's the
air
joke.
inside vibrates. That's what makes the sound.
Um,
Ancient whistles were made from bird bones.
What else was there?
Ancient whistle was an early version of which musical instrument?
A recorder. It's shrill and awful.
Flute.
Fantastic! Flutes make beautiful sweet sounds when you blow into them. Flutes weren't always used for playing music, though. The ancient Greeks used flutes during sporting events, just like referees use whistles today. Where could you hear a flute in ancient Greece?
Amphitheater.
No. Score! In a Greek gymnasium,
You'd think you'd
the
hear
person
people
in
playing the
charge
flute
of
in an
coaching the
amphitheater,
athletes
though.
used
Yeah.
a flute to mark the beginning and end of sports matches. In gymnasiums today, gym teachers use whistles instead of flutes. Who was a famous gym teacher?
I'm guessing James Naismith.
Uh,
Because Babe Ruth was baseball.
Babe Ruth is baseball. I have no idea who Martina is, but I guarantee you she was probably not a gym teacher.
Good! James Naismith was a gym teacher who became famous for inventing a sport that could be played indoors during winter. That sport was basketball.
All right. In 18...
And that's why his name seemed familiar.
Fasten your seatbelt and click on me when you're ready to go. Ready for a little one-on-one? A gym teacher in America is about to...
One of you won me on
invent
Rust
basketball.
Scrub.
Let's go. It's James Naismith hanging the world's first basketball net, a peach basket. But what has Polly put Danny DeFrostbutt up to? Snowmen can't play indoor sports. You better hit that recall button before basketball becomes a complete washout.
So mean. They were about to have a nice
Basketball was
time.
invented as an indoor sport during winter. Now back to the future. Whoa, that was some landing. Press the back button on the utility belt. It does my CPU chip good to know that I've helped bring these guys back where they belong.
Well, good for you, Snotley. You rescued another one of your little friends. How sweet. But there are more where that one came from. I just hope you can rescue them in time.
All right, we still got places to go and robots to rescue. Click on the inventory to start a mission.
How tired are you right now?
I'm not that tired.
Alright. Because I have someone waiting on me to do something else. I'm starting
Go
to
to
get...
that, I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little done with school stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, do you want to keep doing this with me, or would you prefer I just do this by myself?
Let's get moving.
It's up to you.
Polly will be one step ahead of us.
Because I prefer the
I
banter.
guess it's up to the viewers, really. Yeah. It's kind of dry doing edutainment stuff
Yeah.
when you're double the age it was designed for on your own.
I'm more than double the age. Because third grade is geared toward 7, 8, and 9-year-olds.
Oh, great, I'm triple the age.
I'll be 28 in July.
You're quadruple the age.
As long as there is a single robot lost
So-
in the There's plenty of cool things to do on this floor, but unless we're on a mission, it all seems pretty pointless to me. Click on the inventory to start a mission.
And here's all the ones they had ready to go.
Oh, goddamn.
Well, I think that'll be it for this stream. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. And we'll talk about when we stream this next. But I'm ready to do it basically whenever.
I'm slightly disappointed you didn't say Spanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice.
Actually, Chris, they made 4th grade twice.
Or did they get it wrong the first time?
Well, the first one was Haunted Island. which I can show you right now. If I turn on my camera.
Chris, if you don't mind me asking, like, whereby are you from?
So, for JumpStart 4th grade, they made Haunted Island. But parents complained, parents complained that it was too scary, so they remade it and made it some generic adventure game that I think takes a lot of imagery from like Egypt. So it's more like Indiana Jones than a Horror Island romp.
Oh, hold up, Chris! Isn't it like nearly 7 a.m. there? What are you doing awake? I can't blame you. I'm still awake.
Pretty late in Norway right now.
It's like 3 hours ahead of UK time.
Could have gotten up early.
Super early.
$4:40 a.m. All right, it's not too early.
I got the times really off, but yeah, I'll probably be awake at that time.
Oh, you meant 3rd grade for Norway specifically?
Yeah, that's why I asked like what country.
Yeah, it's nice to have all these games just ready to go. And I have these ready to install, but I haven't yet. I have Gun installed, but not the others.
Like the thing is with sort of pretty much any game is the English one will come first, then they'll make the translations for the rest of them. Like there are exceptions to that. Obviously, they'll make foreign language ones first, and then make English based on that if it gets good reception, or just keep it foreign language exclusive type things. It really depends on developers and publishers and whether they want to go for the full money grab.
What kind of trouble are you having with XP? Blue screen of death. What error code? Because it could be anything from CPU, GPU, RAM, storage.
I'm not amazed that XP can get blue screens these days. I thought it was the most stable Windows.
It still happens with hardware issues and some software.
I suppose.
Because like even though it's the best OS, it doesn't mean it's perfect. Okay, stop error code. Page fault in non-page area.
I mean, I get that sometimes on Windows 10.
Yeah. One or more random access memory modules that are installed on your computer are faulty. The RAM configuration is incompatible with Windows XP. So you might just need to find new RAM for it. I'm fortunate in this case, and then I'm using DDR3 in this system, so it's fairly new. If you're running an older system that uses DDR2 or DDR1, you're gonna have a harder time to find them. Not so much DDR2. DDR2 can be found for pretty cheap.
DDR1s are difficult. DDR3 is the cheapest of the RAMs at the moment. DDR2 is starting to go up in price.
Yeah. DDR1 is going to be difficult. EDO RAM is also difficult. I think there's one that's SDO that's even older. It's going to be even more difficult. Yeah. Honestly, my suggestion for making a Windows XP PC, and this is just blanket for anybody who wants to make one, is to, I doubt it's the motherboard. The error code specifies RAM, so I'm going to guess it's RAM. But my suggestion for anybody who wants to build an XP PC from scratch, I would recommend getting a cheap Intel or AMD motherboard. Get a low-end Ryzen or Intel Pentium CPU, being like Pentium Platinum or something.
Ryzen 1 would work quite well if you can get your hands on it.
Yeah, so I'd say like a Ryzen. Well, when I say Ryzen 3, I mean Ryzen 3 tier.
Yeah, was it 3100?
Something like that. 3400G, for example. Then in the BIOS, turn off the.
Oh yeah, may as well get a graphic chip one. Yeah, APU.
But turn off the graphics part because there's no driver for it for XP.
Yeah.
And for XP, you can go up to. Here's the best part. Windows XP, being from 2001, will support any AGP card from like 2000 until like 2005 when they switched over to PCIe, and from there it'll support any graphics card up to the original Titan and Titan Black.
Oh, you can probably get them quite cheap these days, though.
Actually, I gotta make sure. I can't remember if it's Titan Black or Titan X. I think it's Titan Black.
Still, I have a Windows XP machine. It runs on Ryzen 3 and a Titan. Yeah,
it's Titan Black. And the driver version for that is 368.81, and it was released July 14th, 2016. Still works with XP, but I would recommend going with like a 6000 series GeForce through like a 400 GeForce. Like no more powerful than like a GTX 460. Because if you get like a 480, it's going to be a lot of heat, and you're probably not going to get much performance boost unless you want to play like 32-bit Crysis. But why would you when you can just play 64-bit through Steam? I
mean, I feel like you're calling me out for my 480, but it's an RX, not a GeForce.
I mean, 480 is good for like early Windows 7. It's not great for end-of-life XP because it's a little too fast, a little too hot. But I'm running a 8800 GT. It's like here's the specs for mine coming up. So I'm using a gigabyte.
You need to fill that system model with something interesting.
How do you change that?
There are programs that'll do it for you.
Okay.
I know you can do it on Windows 7. It's because it's based on OEM, so OEM should have a program for it.
All right.
So people have made them.
But the motherboard is a socket FM2 from Gigabyte. That is the F2A88XM-D3H. Very creatively named. And it's running, it says 3 gigs. It's running a 4 gig stick of DDR3 at 1600 megahertz. An A10 5800K APU, so it has graphics on there too, but I have it disabled. But it's running in Unicore mode. So it's supposed to have 4 cores, but I disabled 2 of them. And that's kind of it.
Single core hyperthreading?
There's no hyperthreading on it.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah, but the reason I can only disable 2 cores on a 4-core CPU, I would like to run this as a single core. But this generation of AMD from like 2010ish to 2015, because that's when they stopped making FX and started making Ryzen. Each FPU or floating point unit was attached to 2 CPU cores. For better performance, you want 1 FPU per core, and that'll allow you to turn off each core individually. So like on Intel, you could run with 3 cores. So like if you identified a single core that wasn't performing right, you can disable that 1 core and still have 3. But on this, you can only disable 2 at a time. Same with my FX PC running a FX8310. It has 8 cores, 4 FPUs. It's basically running quad core with 2 cores for each task. and graphics. Yeah, 8800 GT. I was going to use a 7900 GT, but it has 256 megs of RAM. It was just not good enough, like just barely not good enough to run Doom 3 and Doom 3, Quake 4, and Fear. There's always visual artifacts with those. So I just put in my 8800 GT, which I know works with those. It should be good. So yeah, that'll be the end of this stream. A little bit of tech knowledge and history. Thanks for coming out. I'll see you next time.
Have a good one. Beautiful.
Yeah.